วัสดีครับทุกคนแหมกลับมากันอีกแล้วนะครับก็ วันนี้เนาะจะมาดู Esports World Cup กันนะครับโอ้โหก็เอาจริงๆก็ยังลุ้นๆอยู่เนาะว่าจะดูคู่ไหนดีเนาะแต่ว่าเท่าที่ดูตอนเนี้ยน่าจะดูคู่คู่ W7M กับ SSG เนาะเพราะว่าคู่ BDS แม่งมันเหมือนจะชนะอยู่แล้วอะยังไงก็ชนะอยู่แล้วก็แต่ว่าตอนนี้ดูหลักๆคือดูก่อนว่าคู่ไหนอยู่สตรีมไหนเนาะเพราะมันมีตั้ง3สตรีมอะโอ้โฆษณาโคตรเยอะอะบอกเลยโฆษณาเยอะมากคือตอนนี้ถ้าทุกคนได้ยินเสียงผมกินก็ไม่ต้องแปลกใจนะก็กินถั่วอะไรไปด้วยดูแบบสนุกแต่เอาจริงก็เดี๋ยวมีสไตล์น่าจะเข้ามาดูเป็นเพื่อนเนาะสวัสดีทุกคนด้วยนะครับ
had 3 slots in their closed qualifiers. Dark Zero didn't even lose a single map and made it first. Luminosity had a rough beginning against M80, but all in all, everything turned out well for them. They've beaten our previous contenders, Space Station Gaming, who will also join NA teams after crushing Sonics 2-0. The list of North American teams ready to compete is exceptional. Brazil loves R6 with a mutual feeling. With such a perfect symbiosis, it could have only led us to one conclusion. They are the strongest region out of them all, where 4 teams will be representing the land of the Amazon. But to get there, FaZe had to beat NIP and Fluxo. W7M Esports struggled at first against E1, but finally sneaked into KSA for the second time in a row after their win over Black Dragons. 2 other spots were granted in the lower bracket matches. These were won respectively both by Team Liquid and what must be the most famous Brazilian esports org, Furia. 6 out of 9 regions were granted only 1 spot each on their route to Riyadh. Down Under will be represented by Team Bliss, who qualified first. Scars will be your Japanese choice, followed by PSG Talon from South Korea, GK Esports in MENA, Lead Esports representing Asia, and last but not least, Team Cruelty, standing for the Latin America region.
Cruelty น่าจะเป็นของเม็กซิโก
16
นะ
teams in all their glory, each one ready to carve their name in esports history. The Esports World Cup 2024 for Rainbow Six Siege is shaping up to be an unmissable event, so stay tuned.
เอาจริงมันไม่มีที่ไหนบอกเลยว่า
So that is our teams.
แต่ละอันอยู่สตรีมอะไรอะ
Our teams.
งงมาก
We've got plenty of siege to be getting around here. 2 groups, 8 teams, 16 teams in total. And demo.
วันนี้ไปก่อนเลยกัน
You've got some favorites in and amongst those.
Favorites? G2 aren't here, Ollie. How can I have
Surely
a favorite
not.
if my team's not even here?
I'm sure that you'll find
โอ้มาแล้วส
something
แต็ก
to be
ตายมาแล้ว
a favorite. Let's have a look at the format, and we can see just exactly how that is all.
ตอนนี้ยังไม่รู้ว่า
down.
สตรีมไหนทีมไหนแต่ว่ากะว่าจะดู SSG กับ W7M
The,
มาแล้วก็ตอน 6 โมงกว่าๆจะเป็น พารอนกับ Liquid
Look, the format is pretty
6 โมง
simple,
น่าจะ
guys,
ไม่ทันนะมันมีจะชิม
We have 2
น่าจะได้
big groups,
6 โมง
so
20
น่าจะทันไม่รู้อะ
ทันกูคิดว่าทันอยู่
you know, understand from that.
อาจจะดูไม่จบ
We split the
เพราะมีสตรีม
competition
ทุ่
in
ม
half.
ครึ่ง
And it's not more or less a kind of group stage that you would expect with, you know, okay, 3 points here, 1 point here if you draw, whatever it is.
อะไรมีคนเข้ามาบอกว่าหรอจริงหรอทำไมสตรีมเมอร์ไม่อ่านเมนต์
Your first game is going to be a best of
อ่าน
one.
แล้วแต่ออกไปแล้วไง
You win that, you then play another best of one. If you lose your first game though, then you have to play a best of 3, and if you lose that, you're out. So it is very reminiscent to kind of what we would have
Leave.
sometimes at majors, where if you kind of lose 2 games, that's you done. You know, it's very, very easy to see yourself slip out of this competition. So teams, they have to get off to a really good start if they want to make an impact here.
จริง
Yeah, and I think that you know, like you say, that double elimination and the fact that that last elimination game is a best of 3, you know, it really gives the best chance, and it does lead to some exciting games. As I look at the prize pool very quickly, you can see all of the money that's
BDS
going to be on the line there. First prize is, I think $750,000. 750,000.
อันนี้สตรีมแรกนี่
Space Station เอาดูนี้แหละ
Both struggle to find it, and
ว่าใครช
now
นะ
to grasp
ไป
on.
เชียร์ Space Station ทั้งใจ
I would say it's the
กูเชียร์ W7M ว่ะ
all day.
กูเชียร์ Space Station ทั้งใจ
Really on the same trajectory. Like I think SSG are really trying to.
กูเชียร์ Space Station ด้วยก็ได้ฮะ
As good and they've just had a really tough Manchester major, and W7M have been.
คือกูจะเชียร์ Space Station นะถ้าสมมติ Canadian ยังอยู่
in the world still. So I think right now SSG used to be better, W7M used to be worse, and now they're kind of matching levels. It's interesting to see which dynamic is gonna take the upper hand here.
Well, you know what? This is our match of the day for the A stream right now. But we also have a B stream and a C stream as well. So what are we thinking about those two? Any favorites to look out for?
Yeah, I'm really excited about Luminosity Bliss. I think that is the most anticipated game because it's LG's first time at an event ever. Bliss is obviously from OCE and they always are very good there, but it takes them
อะไรเนี่ยพี่เกอร์
just so
ไป
much
ได้
time to
ไป
get
แข่ง
comfortable in the
ก็
event. So seeing the two teams
ดู
clash
เลย
up that we've
แล้ว
never
กัน
seen clash up before.
กูเขียนผิด
อะไรวะ
กูจะเขียนว่าไม่ได้ไปแข่ง
Games that I would
ก็เปิดดูเลยแล้วกัน
I feel like for
เสือเขียนไป
Talon versus Liquid. I want to see if Fabian's work in Manchester with Talon was a fluke, or if they can continue, grow, and maybe beat one of the heavy favorites here.
มาลุ้นกันว่าสตรีมเราจะโดนเทคดาวน์หรือเปล่า
About your predictions for this upcoming matchup, I want to ask the folks joining us at home. Go ahead and vote for our SDC audience prediction at www.sdcplay.gg. Let us know who's going to walk away with the victory. Is it going to be SSG or is it going to be W7M? And I think on that note, that leads us in quite nicely for us to focus a little bit more on the side of SSG in particular. Obviously,
อ๋อมีสตรีมเดียวนี่หว่ามีสตรีมเดียว
ใน YouTube มีสตรีมเดียว
What kind of
อ๋อเหรอ
contributions
ใช่
do you
แต่ว่า
think
ใน
team?
ใน
How
Twitch
much
มี
of
3
an impact is this going to change
สตรีม
their
AB
kind
เหร
of
อ
play style, their approach?
ABC
heading into this?
I think Benja is better for SSG than
แม่งแข่งพร้อมกันไง
other way around. I think SSG is better for Benja than Benja is for SSG because SSG is going to provide a lot of comfortability for Benja to be able to play his position, be flexible, not be so
มาดูกันว่าเบนจะมาสเตอร์กูจะ
to
เป็น
what
ยั
his
งไง
prior team had to do. Whereas SSG
อ๋อจาก
has to
G2 มาแล้ว
accommodate for that. They
ต้อง
dropped
ต้องตึง
Iconic, who is the IGL supportive player on the
จริง
team,
ครับ
to pick up an arguably aggressive, flexible young player. And obviously, SSG has had success on cultivating young players with Ashen, so they can do the exact same thing with
J90
Benja,
for
but it's about
Raze,
the rest of the
Ashen,
players if they can find their
Foltz,
footing in this new
Benja
format
Master.
of the way the team wants to play.
Yeah, and I think for Benja himself, like he's someone that needs to be comfortable to perform. He's had really good phases and really bad ones as well in G2. I think he was not necessarily playing with a team that has the best teamwork. It's going to be very different with Space Station. But at the same time, the gameplay or the playstyle from Space Station is very often they have a certified game plan when going into a game.
เอาเฮียแหลก
And that may not leave enough room for Benja to really thrive. He's someone that loves taking space, that taking risk, and he needs a lot of information to be fed. So it's going to be interesting to see how long it takes for him to really thrive in that position.
Yeah.
มาดี
It's
เฮียกู
quite
อยาก
one
ดูแล้ว
thing to arrive in Space Station
เอ
because
อกู
they
อยาก
have
รู้แล้ว
such
เนี่ย
a
จะได้
unique
เจอสแตท
system in
ใหม่
place, set up by Callout, that obviously early on in the qualifiers he didn't show up
ๆ
like
เนี่ย
the
พี่เกอร์
same
ลอง
way
คิ
he
ด
did
สภาพ
in
หน่อย
G2.
เชฟไฟไปยืน
We'll
ทำเนี้ย
see now
แล้ว
if
เขาดู
it's
อะไรอยู่
working more
อะไรอยู่
after having
ไอ
more.
สัตว์ลงไอจีส่วน
And
ตัว
we
เบียว
spoke
ชิบ
about
หาย
it, Benja is a player that thrives on
เฮ้ย
being able to
เนี่ยไอ้เหี้ยนี่
exploit
เบียว
the
จริง
advantages
ทำเชี่ยเลยเนี่ย
I think SSG is kind of that good team. Everyone in North America
ทรงนิ่
knows
งๆ
that
ทรง
SSG
นิ่งๆทรง
loves to
นิ่ง
just hit every angle at once the opportunity is exposed. They try to beta rotate onto one side of the map,
เหี้ยเท่
exposing the other
ๆ
side,
โอ้
and
ยเหี้ย
somebody's
ภาพ
able to
แบบ
get
มี
it.
คลิ
And
ป
I think
ปินโด
SSG
เปิดตัว
giving
ของ
that
เอจี
confidence
ไม่
to
เท่
Benja to
เลย
be
เหี้ย
able
เต๋อ
to
ต้องไป
say,
ดู
hey,
ทีวี
make the play, make the play.
ไม่
Whereas
เท่เลย
I don't necessarily know if G2 is giving Benja that amount of flexibility.
Well, on the flip side of the coin, we also
ต้องดู
have
W7M
W7M to chit chat about.
เย้
a little bit.
ดอท
Obviously,
มา
having grinded the qualifiers, what do we think of their kind of comparison and performance from qualifiers to making it here now and historically speaking?
So we talked about how W7M is on the upwards trajectory. It's only been better and better. And
มันก็เหมือนกัน
had a
นี่หว่า
really good showing on stage 1. They almost made Manchester, but they ended up
มีแต่
getting
ภาพแบบนี้
stopped
เหรอ
by
ไม่มี
P1 and
เห็น
Liquid,
เหรอ
and that was devastating for them, especially since
เหมื
they
อน
had such a
มัน
good
มีควัน
season.
มีอะไรลอยออก
But
มา
to
แบ
make
บ
it to
ไปถ่ายอยู่สนาม
BWC,
หญ้า
they
อะไรเงี้ย
actually
เท่
turned the tides and righted
โอ้
the
ยเฮีย
wrongs. And beat
Esports World Cup แม่งกี่อาทิตย์
to
กู
make
บอก
it. And then in the Brazil League, there is a Brazil Cup that is currently going on. They were able to beat Liquid 7-2, a devastating win.
เฮีย
or
ชนะ
devastating
ลิค
loss
วิด
for
7-2
So that puts W7M in the
อะไรนะ
best
ที่72
position possible. They're
W7M
currently in the
ชนะ
driver's
ลิควิด
seat to
7-2 ใน
breaking
บราซิล
that
ครับ
top 3, top 4 Brazilian
เรามึง
pool
ดูย้อนหลัง
so
มาเหรอ
difficult
เอทูเฮดมา
ไม่เมื่อกี้นี้
to, I
เขา
guess,
นัก
reach
พากย์
into
พูด
with the amount of talent that is
Oh.
in Brazil.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem for them. Trying to qualify to these STR events, international play is always one thing, but like when you have FaZe, Furia, Liquid in your region, technically you're always fighting for that fourth spot with NIP, with E1, with Black Dragons. And I think consistently right now, it's been an issue for Brazil to find that fourth team to represent them. And W7M is, in the past few events, the one team that I'm looking towards, filling that spot consistently. And I think they played the right way around the lost core that was really strong at Atlanta Major. They lost cameraman and they brought in Volps, who was one of the biggest prospects in Brazil. In W7M, before he left for Liquid, the old Furia, he was really strong. He was one of the key players. That's why Liquid got him. It didn't work in Liquid, but even then, statistically, he was the best player. And now he's coming and making that team better. I'm really looking forward to see them play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm also looking to look at Loban specifically because he is able to thrive when he doesn't have the pressure of having to be a leader or the player that's playing more supportive roles. So getting a player like Volps who can succeed on the more passive roles allows a lot of flexibility for Loban to be able to back up the rest of the team.
Well, for the W7M players as an organization as a whole, they definitely have the weight of the world on their shoulders, obviously having previously had that Furia lineup as well. The real question is, are they on the same level, on the same caliber? Do we think that they have it in them, or are they going to continue to be consistently inconsistent?
I think they have it in them. If there's ever a moment in an event for them to be performing, it would be on this one because step by step, they've slowly been getting better. And especially with this start of a game,
พูดยากว่ะแต่กูคิดว่าแบงค์อาจจะมา
ว่าแบงค์อาจจะ
It's
มา
either a blowout on their side or a
กู
blowout.
คิดว่าแบงค์อาจจะมา SSG อ่ะชอบแบงค์เว้ย
สรุปแม่งเปิดมา
It looks
แล
like that was the
แล
last stage. And now they got that comfortability that SSG is craving so badly.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, you look at Space Station, the way they entered Manchester, they went 0-3, they struggled heavily to punish aggression. They struggled heavily because they went in with a counter strat, with a game plan, and when it didn't work, they had no way to adapt in-game. That's my biggest issue. If you face a team that's really aggressive towards you, how do you adapt towards it? And that's what I'm missing to see in SSG. I'm missing that leadership or that right decision
แต่
inside the
SSG
game
อ่ะ
from the players.
อย่างที่คอมเมนเตอร์พูด
And
อ่ะ
I'm
เป็น
afraid
ทีม
that
ที่ไม่ค่อย aggressive
W7M
ถ้าเทียบ
comes
กับ
in with the same
W7M อ่ะ
confidence they took towards
แต่ว่า
Liquid
SSG
in
อ่ะ
Copa de Brazil, then
มีเบนจ้าแล้ว
how
ก็
you
ไม่รู้ว่า
react
จะเป็นยังไง
when
เพราะ
you're
ไม่ได้ดู
SSG.
แข่ง
It's a
ก่อน
BO1.
หน้านี้ที่
It's
เป็น
gonna be
post
tough.
qualifier เลย
Well, on the note of that BO1, let's go ahead, roll the veto, and you can let me know if it
เฮ้ย
favors
แบนแล้ว
any
แบนแล้ว
team in particular.
ชาเล
Expect
แบนชาเล
แรกเลย
แบนแบงค์โอ้ยในเฮเว่นขับเฮา How to do it? Border. Oregon. จะกลายคาเฟ่ว่ะ
Whereas SSG hasn't been playing anything.
ไอ้เหี้ยที่เดาไปแบนตั้งแต่แมตช์
แบ
แร
น
ก
นั่นแหละแมปแรก
We talked about the
ไอ้
map
ดูไว้
that
ไม่เคยดูไว้เผื่อเราได้เล่น
W7M
คาเฟ่
7
เผื่อเรา
Liquid on
เอา
was
สแตทไปใช้ใน
actually
คาเฟ่
So SSG taking them to this map, knowing W7M is a very confident cafe team, there has to be an element of challenging this team at like their playing ground.
Yeah, you don't do that without purpose. For sure, knowing call out, he's prepared a really good counter strat.
ดูจากแมปแล้วเนี่ย
Well,
ผม
you
ว่า
know what,
W7M
without
น่า
further
จะมีโอ
ado,
กาสช
let's
นะ
go
สูงนะครั
ahead,
บ
jump into the action.
แต่
Fam,
ก็ออก
let's take us through
ได้
it.
ทั้ง3หน้าแต่ก็ออกได้ทั้ง2หน้า
สามหน้า
joined by Whippet for
อี
the
กหน้าหนึ่งอะไรเสมอ
opening map of
เฮ้ย
Siege
เจอ
in
ทาง
the
เสมอ
Esports
ต่อ
World
เพื่อ
Cup.
ท
And Whippet feels like things have gone full circle. Last time we were here for some SSG action as well.
It was 2 years ago. We sat down and we were ready to cast our very first international game of Siege, and it was SSG who played in that, and they'll be facing
ำ
W7M
ไฟเลยว่ะ
as
เฮีย
you
ไปนั่ง
mentioned
แข่ง
in
อยู่
this.
กลางลานแบบ
A
นี้
team in Brazil, a region that we've had a little bit of dabbling with, and as
เอา
one
มา
of
เอา
the
ไงดีว่ามา
professional
เล่นส
North
เตตไหน
American
เล่นส
haters,
เตตไหน
so I will see,
เปิด
but
เปิด
SSG are my team, and they have a European import, so I will be cheering a
กู
little
บอกเลย
bit
ถ้าทีมเราไปแข่งอ่ะ
I'm excited to see how
เสียง
this one
ควย
goes.
ๆ
As
เฮี้ย
our
เนี่ย
guest mentioned, we would
จะเข้า
cafe,
ไม
a
ค์
very
เต็มเลยนะ
comfortable map for W7M. Clearly, a clear intention by call out a team that he plays with a
เออ
very
ถ้าเกิด
strict
เราตัว
strategy.
มึงไม่แข่ง
They
ขอ
always
ตุ๊ก
look
ตา
for
แบบ
that
นี้
gap,
ไปด้วยนะ
have
แบ
a
บ
lot of
ก็แบบ
opportunities
ตั้ง
to
ตา
find
ปู
that
ปู
opening.
ตั้ง
We
รอเลย
know
ว่า
that here early again,
ได้แต่
early
คนทั้ง
days,
เข้าไป
first
ทั้ง
stages
หน้าจอ
of
กัน
the groups. It's going to be a best of one, so all to play for this.
เฮียทุกคนใช้ไอ้นี่วูด
Big
วูดดิ้ง
tournament
หมดเลยอ่ะ
for SSG. Just
ใช่
16 months ago, people were calling Benja the solution for
เมื่อถึง
G2
คีย์บอร์ดใหม่ของ
winning on that
Razer ป่ะ
SI run. Things didn't quite go the way he
อะไรวะ
would want, but he's moved to
คีย์บอร์ดที่แม่ง
he's in a much more
อะไรวะ
regimented and structured
Counter
team.
Strike ได้แบบ
I feel like a coach
โดย
like Collard is
โดย
the
ที่แบบแค่มึง
perfect
กด
person to kind
เก็ตปะ
of give him the structure that
อ๋
he
อ
needs to
เป็
help
น
this team
ลา
perform.
พิ
I
ษ
mean, he's barely been on
ใน
this
การ
SSG
กด
team.
อะ
He's
เขา
already
เรียกว่าอะไร
achieved
วะ
more than his former team.
คีย์บอร์ดเลเซอร์ใหม่
Making
คือ
it
แบบว่า
here to Ray at the Play
ดี
Esports
มาก
World Cup, and we're ready to dive into this one. Cafe, our one and only map for this best of one.
เอาไอ้
One
เหี้ยฝั่ง
expected for
ADG
these
แม่ง
bands,
ไม่
of
มีใคร
course,
กูรัก
changes
แฮป
can
ฟัน
be
เลยไม่
tough,
เป็น
but
มิด
just
เลย
like
เฮ้ย
Malaysia,
ไม่เป็นมิดเลย
how do
สัต
you
ว์
feel this is going to go on our
I
initial
think
Toxic
stage?
ว่ะ
I think
มึง
we're
เป็น
not
ไร
gonna see too much
เป็นมิดเหรอ
here. Ying's gonna be
ไม่ตอบ
banned
จริง
as
นะเว้ย
always.
เหี้ยดูเฮ้ยพิมพ์เลยนะเว้ย
Being banned on the defense.
เขียนอะไรกันวะ
The other attacking ban can always go a couple
ดู
of
ส
ways.
แตทอยู่เปล่า
I think that
โอ้ยมันจะตอบเจไฟแบนหญิง
W7 by
คิด
the
ตัว
fact
แร
that
กเลย
it's
ครับ
not
ตั้ง
locked
แบบ
in
นี้
yet. They're not
จะเจอ
fully
กอบ
sure
เจไฟ
just
มาอีก
yet
ที
who
นึง
they're
ก็แหละ
gonna get rid of.
They might be playing a little bit of mind games early. Now, of course, we're here. All the teams are just actually playing right behind us. W7M in their pre-game huddle were, well, it was just a thunderous amount of Brazilian passion from them as we almost shut our
W7M สอง
stage.
มา
We
นะครับ
heard
ทีม
them in
แยก
their
บ
huddle
อกว่า
word
ทำ
as
งาน
we
บั
see
ฟฟี่ก่อน
Maldi
ตัว
bound
แรก
away. Not really surprised. Again, we saw this, a very common operator. It was very useful for teams in Brazil. SSG do utilize shields as well, so taking that away makes a lot of sense. Kaid to sure things up. And our final ban, this is where you have that variety. It's to pick your poison of it. It's going to be a Valkyrie or a Solus or an Azami. And what do you think it's going to be? Well,
ไม่ใช่ มังลูซี่
We spoke about it just before we started, but the
What?
changes that have come into the game, Malusi being banned here.
อาจจะคิด
And
มา
I
แล้ว
think that it's going to make things interesting.
เอาดู
because
รอดู
Valk is
ว่าจะมีส
available.
แตทของเขา
You've got the Kiba barriers and Azami that you can utilize, which we know on top floor and Cafe can be very good for setting up piano.
but of course, in this changes, they're going to take a little bit more damage as well. They're more vulnerable to ballistic damage from that, so it's going to be a little bit easier.
ดู
Not
จากมาแล้ว
easy
SSG
to clear
อาจจะ
that
เล่น
position,
aggressive
especially up
นะ
in
เนี่ย
piano that we see as Amis play all the time coming into
ตอนนั้น
it.
แท็ก
But
อย่างน้อยนะ
the storyline for this one is going to be, for me, I need SSG to
ไอ้เหี้ยมึงใส่แว่น
They need to come out
อ๋อ
strong
กูนึก
against
ว่าใส่แว่นดำไอ้เหี้ย
W7M's a high preference map for them. SSG, first 3 rounds, that's going to be where a key battleground for me.
I think for W7M, you gotta shut down Ashen early as well. You know that whenever he gets into it and he gets vocal and loud,
แต่เสื้อ
it
ทีม
can
ใน
be
ใจ
a
กู
real
อยากได้
boost to
สี
their
ขาว
team,
นะ
and
เว้ย
it
เฮีย
gives confidence when he's playing.
ทำไมวะ
โลโก้มา
And we can
โล
hear
โก้
the
มาเป็นสี
players
ม่วง
through
แล้วก็
our
เอาสี
headset.
ม่วงเลย
They're
ก็ได้
sitting right behind us. So the key is
แบบ
to
สี
keep it
ขาว
quiet.
มัน
But look,
ง่าย
we
ๆก็แบบ
are
แต่งตัว
underway
ง่ายอ่ะ
with the first round. And we're seeing
กูคิดว่าสีขาวสีดำอะได้ทั้งสองอัน
as it's not gonna
แต่
be
ไม่เป็นไร
tough
ไหน
to
ๆก็
kick
สี
things
ม่วง
off.
ก็
I
สี
mean,
ม่วงไปเลย
we've seen this across
โล
the
โก้
last
สี
couple
ขาว
of
มัน
months
ดู
of
เพล
play.
นไปอ่ะ
It was very rare even during the qualifiers for this inside of Europe, which we covered. The scene
Hey,
team
man, you have
released it. They
talk.
go to that top floor on Cafe. It's a subject of map to age. It's been the primary site for so long. Teams are used to it, so they're kind of rotating away from it and a different variation. Valkyrie cameras being placed. A little bit of freedom to roam around the map. Likely going to be playing to deny entries and use those C4s to the best advantage possible. And so Benji on a good SMG. He can do work for the team. I think he will have that freedom in this lineup.
Yeah, I
ค่อน
think
ข้าง
Benji
น่าส
will
นใจ
have
นะ
a
ครับ
big say on it. We're seeing, though, a nice extension being played from SSG to kick things off. But, you know, speaking to the desk beforehand, one of the biggest problems this team has had has
เฮ้ย
been
อย่าบอกนะ
on the
ว่า
defense. And Whip It, they look like they're set
อย่า
up
บอก
to
นะว่า
work right through that door. They've got blitz.
อย่า
They've
บอก
got
นะ
blitz.
ว่า
Once they get a little bit of drone work, this could be 3, 2, 1, go.
ยังไง
อย่าบอกนะว่า อย่าบอกนะว่า
ยังไงครับ รู้หรือเปล่า
รู้หรือเปล่า อย่าบอกนะว่า เอาแล้ว เอาแล้ว เอาแล้ว
SSG need to try and work for that retake.
ยังไง
That plan
ทีมเม
goes
ท
down.
นี่ล็อก
Absolutely
สวย
perfect from W7M. Loban gets one of the action. Ashen gets one, but it might just be a consolation prize. 4 versus 3.
โอ้โห
Gets aggressive in long
เมารั่ว
all pinned in that corner. 3 bodies stacked in, and it's going to be
เรียบร้อย
absolutely
เรียบร้อยเหี้ย
Finding
โอ้โห
the thunderous roar of W7M
สเตต K5 ปะเนี่ย
How much
ไอ้
that
เหี้ย
means,
แบบ
but
ไม่คิด
what
อะไร
a
เยอะ
opening
แล้วเล่น
round
เหมือน
and a
บาคิว
great
จริง
take
ด้วยไม่เคยแบบไม่คิดอะไรวิ่งเข้าไป
ไม่คิดอะไรเลย
That opportunity
ใช่
perfectly.
แบบไม่คิดอะไรเลยด้วย
And there's
บิด
nothing that
วิ่ง
SSG
เข้า
can
เลย
do
แบบ
in
ไม่
the
ต้อง
opening
คิดอะไรเยอะ
stages
อะ
as well. You were trapped in the corner. There was no rotate into laundry whatsoever.
โคตรแบบอย่าบอกนะว่าไอ้เหี้ย
But I love the way they played that as well. Usually you'd see the shield operator being the one that carries the case, pushing in and getting that down. But instead, Blitz exploded into sight, got the opening kill while the diffuser was going down. And that is why you usually see the operators like Doka being banned.
วันนี้
Once that phone
ดู
call
วันนี้
came
เสร็จ
out,
ปุ๊บ
particularly
ต่อเลย
the cam that they had
ใช่
with the
ต่อเลย
information, it was just such an
เดี๋ยวผม
easy
มาแป๊บนึง
execute for the opening round.
W7M made that look easy, but that's a sentiment to the caliber of this team who's on that upward trend, but SSG also didn't put up many roadblocks to stop that. You had Forest playing in site alone. No one was there to support you. One anchor on the site alone. And, you know, you've got a great combination of weapons to duel up close, but when a shield's bearing down upon you with support with DMR behind, not a lot you can do. So WS7M do a great job taking that. We move to our second one, and we see a vastly different addition, our lineup from SSG, new site coming into it, and we will see the Maestro getting picked up. Actually, no, Brava is in effect. So Loban has a perfect counterplay to those EYs across the map.
มัน execute ดี ไม่ ตัวที่อยู่ชั้น3อะโฮดีด้วย เพราะว่าโฮแบบว่าไม่ให้คนมาผิดล่าให้เพื่อนใช่ไหม แล้วไอ้ Maverick ที่ยืนอยู่หน้าไซต์อะล็อกให้ Blitz อะก็เล่นดีด้วย คือถ้า Blitz วิ่งเข้าไปแล้วไม่รอดอะก็เล่นไม่ได้อะ
มันวิ่งแบบโนเบนเลยเฮีย
เฮียแม่งเล่นดีจัดเลย
Well, we're
แต่ถ้าแบบแต่ถ้า WCM เล่นตามเกมที่ NXT ตั้งไว้ก็สเตต NXT ดีมากเลยนะเมื่อกี้
ใช่แต่ว่าแม่งเล่นแบบK5 ไอ้เหี้ย
lots to clear, lots to deal with. Ashen could be a problem if remained undetected. Crosshair is going to be crossing very soon. The Dokkaebi call goes out, and that might be the worst nightmare for Ashen. Sludge Drum, though, will go out towards VIP, and that's the first of those 3 Maestro cameras has been compromised, and that's going to be essentially an infinite pool of information. That leaves Ashen very vulnerable if he rotates out, so SSG, very quickly, this roam presence can be compromised with a single player hopping on cameras from the side of W7M.
You're going to be able to see inside of VIP. You're going to see if your player moves out of co-check here as well. There is a cross being held by Fultz, but real good patience from Loban here, just trying to bait that opening kill in the early stages. A minute and 30 to play with. And still everyone's patient. Loban's timing a fraction of a second holding that angle.
It's about to complement the patience of Loban, but he begins to move away, and it's gonna that almost prime opportunity, that prime position he's covering. Just slips away from him. Slow round from WSM, taking their time to posture and gesture what they want to do. Double and Bakery opened up. The Goyo canister can be popped to delay some time. Bees go out. Dokkaebi calls ring out across the map as well. Volts on a shot. And the Fultz looks to find a second one. Difficult angle. Flying shoulder peeks around the door frame. Under a minute now to work in this round, and Ashen has a difficult job to do. Benja takes a lot of damage, but he does fire off, and Loban's going to be first to fall for the side of W7M. A retaking coach check could be critical for this, and W7M's attacks run out of steam. A roadblock to hold on. 40 seconds remain. Can W7M turn the tide?
Canisters burning though, still preventing the Maestro will go down at the dash. And now Volts will make his move, but he falls. Ashen able to get that kill. You spoke about how important coach check could be. But it's a 3 versus 2. Dota is now pushing down the stairs. Look at the amount of time that is being delayed off the back of this one. There's a cross. Benja holding one angle. There's no way this player in red should get through, but he does. He manages to take down Ashen. It's a 2v2. The counter swing was there. Benja. And there you go, the defenders level the sides.
J90 and Benja, very important wins there. But that fight and coach check, no right to win that as that Dokkaebi. But that is that tide-turning gunfight you need to win in these positions. Now we've seen 2 rounds played, 1 apiece, and SSG done a good job slowing the pace to a crawl. W7M, while they had every essentially set up, they had information, they had players to make something work. SSG just delayed time, and they made themselves difficult to shoot, because are you ready for this one? If you don't peek, you can't die.
But if you look at the way that SSG have set up the opening stages of every round as well, on that front side of the building, they're opening up or creating potential spawn peaks that they're not even peeking from. And what that does is it makes those, those attackers that spawn in around docks, it eats, 5-10 seconds. You got a drone, you're not going to run out and peek it without getting the information. So by not actually being there, but by opening the window, you're creating phantom pressure.
So Gibson, I would like to draw your attention to the defensive lineup. Is that a can I see? So Gibson, I will ask you here on LAN at the Esports World Cup, who will fall victim to a captain trap?
I'm going to say Fultz.
Ooh, okay. So Gibson is correct. I don't know.
What were you going to do?
I don't know.
What were you going to say?
I thought the thought would come to me, and it didn't.
Oh, so you started the sentence.
Exactly.
So much like the way G2 kind of play the rounds, you kind of make it up on the fly, and it just didn't come to you at the end.
They've not even made the event. They're not even in the country.
Are they not?
No, believe.
Oh, wow.
Can you
Are
tell
you
there's some?
Trash Talk
Can you
D2
tell
ใช่
there's
ไหม
something there, Gibson?
เฮียแมตช์ไหนวะไอ้สัตว์ตะโกนกันขนาดนั้น
This has been a pretty good start for
GTS ตัวว่าเดี๋ยวกูเช็คก่อน
even though
มึงเช็คดิ
on that last round. I feel like they're doing a great job of getting that opening pick. Pressure now, as you can see, they're getting on the windows. The castle barricade enables this player inside of Piano to just solely focus on the windows. It means that he's pretty invulnerable from the red drop until that wall gets opened up. So you've seen this many a time in the past, and what they want W7M to do is try to take this map from the top down. This is exactly what SSG want. W7M
ถ้ามี BDS นำ 2-0 แสดงว่าไอ้คู่หนึ่งปะวะ
C4 from Ashen, but
มันมี
Loben
คู่หนึ่งแล้วเนี่ย
will find
กู
a
ลืมชื่อ
trade
ละ
as Fultz will fall.
Ashen,
เอ้า
yeah, not too sure about that one. Interesting play, dives in towards
yeah,
that
that's
fire and bath.
Ashen come here, yeah.
He was marked by the bees, deployed out by Grim, and very quickly W7M in the hands of Loben, finding 3. He's not walked into a Capcan trap just yet, and leaving Forest alone against 4. Needs a quad kill to save this round. A minute 25 on the clock. Not a lot he can do. The Grim bees deploy, they'll hunt him down, and they're waiting for a single footstep, a single ping, and trying to find him. See how close they are to him, but he'll be patient. He'll sit still. He'll hold his angles.
เอาไอ้แย่4-1แล้วเหรอเร็วยังวะ
โคตรเร็วเลย
Likely be calming around him, trying to figure out what went wrong. Cautious of drones scouting out his position, but W7M, they have such an advantage, but they're not going to
ไม่
press
แผน
it.
ไว้
They
เฮีย
like to be patient. They don't want to overextend. They don't want to make a mistake. Very risk adverse.
มีคนโดนหาอยู่หรือเปล่า
Flash by in the cover that drop in the laundry. That's exactly where Forest is.
easy
Yeah,
plan
marked. I know more bees sent out.
They've had a minute, and it'll be a minute and a
อ๋อ
half.
แผ
by
น
the time
ข้างล่างไอ้
it's
เฮีย
to be a 4v1. So they don't need to rush. You don't have to try find that kill. Once you get the case down, after about 5 or 6 seconds, we might see some troll time where they allow 1 or 2 players to go find the kill. But for Forest, this is unwinnable. Vertical control has been established. The case is being watched. He spots the gun. He misses a great crossfire from Fireplace. Loben will get the kill. And W7M starting this brilliantly on the attack in Cafe.
I mean, fantastic done by Loben, finding 3. Essentially, the round just cracked up open around him, finding that, and the entirety of SSG dissolved. Ashen got a great C4, but I felt got a little bit panicked. We got marked by the Grim Bees and ran out of space as he couldn't move in towards bathroom as the flames for Capitao cut off that rotation. So great team play from W7M to enable that position. Very impressed from them in that regard. They get themselves that second round, but SSG, I think very clearly to me, look like they want to make a slow defense from them. They're not going to... Again, we know that this side prefers offense. They have a strat book, a playbook that Call Out loves to summon for this team. The defense, it's more about survival. I think that slower style of play is kind of very much making me feel that it's just about getting through this opening 6 rounds, trying to reduce the deficit as much as possible as they move on towards that offensive side, which they are much more comfortable on.
It's a thing, right? It's on Cafe, and SSG historically on defense haven't been the best. It's been the one kind of factor that slowed them down. So a 2-1 lead to W7M won't really surprise anybody at home. Yes, SSG will be disappointed with the start, but for W7M, this is exactly what they would have wanted to kick things off. Different lineup being brought once more. You can see Nomad had a bit of an effect in that last round. Here's a spawn peek. You can spot the player missing the opportunity. Is J90, no kill to be found, but now you can still begin to settle inside of Piano. You can start getting those Kiba barriers down, and nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Exactly. I mean, I like it when teams have the confidence at least. You're trailing, but it's only by 1 round, still early in this best of one.
ทำไมกูรู้สึกว่าแมตช์เดียวที่กูดูแล้วกูเบื่อคือแมตช์นี้วะ
It works, of course. Up on towards the roof will be Lowen on Striker, the brand new recruit. Extra utility on that M4. W7M will be beginning to posture themselves up, and you see this pressure from that window repel on Cocktail and cracked open. Well, Forest ready for it. No, J90 ready for it, I should say. Let's see how this one keeps playing out. I think SSG are going to make this a very slow round.
It's exactly what they want to do. They want to slow them down. W7M, they're going to start clearing the whole map. There's already a minute gone. We've not had an opening engagement as such to speak about, and as it stands, this is exactly what SSG want. Look at how slow W7M are attacking.
เล่นเหมือนทีมญี่ปุ่นที่เราเล่นด้วยเลย
Don't make any
เออ
little
ไม่เล่นเป็นทีมญี่ปุ่นเลย
mistakes.
เล่น
Let
ช้า
W7M be the
ๆค่อยๆ
team
เช็ค
to make
ค่อย
that
ๆ
first
ไป
move and be able to
แบบ
get the kill
ใช้
off
ชี
of
วิ
that.
I mean, you
ต
think
ไม่ต้อง
about
รีบ
how
เอา
Cafe
คิ
plays
ว
out, though. You've got very restrictive entry points, and operators like Dokkaebi are going to be very key to get that information, make that entryway work. Again, you don't have
มันน่า
engage,
จะ
you
บุก
don't
ยาก
have
เลยแหละมั้งกว่า
that one and done opportunity to be able to
เลยต้องค่อยๆ
break
น่า
through
จะ
for it, and of
คือกู
course,
คิดว่าทีมเรา
very
ต้องลองบุก
vulnerable
แบบนี้
through
บ้างเว้ย
that rifle play. Thoughts on that Nomad, ARX
ทีมเราแบบชอบปุ้มป้าม
This is
ปุ้ม
just
ป้า
going to
ม
be gathering information. The red pings go out. They're fully aware. Benja could be a key
Boom,
factor.
boom, boom, boom.
Board him down below with that lesion. Not making that dive off red stairs just yet. And here's going to be the power of those keeper barriers. Jade, I
กี่โมง
know,
ครับ
be able to manipulate the map
ไอ้
to
เหี้ย
his
นี่เกือบ
favor.
ตาย
Has a lot of cover to work with. His Forest taking a
แต่วันนี้
metric.
อุ้ยเรียบร้อย
โอ้
From the
อา
opening.
เกซี
Jade, I
เพ
know
ไม่ได้ผล
first
นะครับ
of all, 7M lead early in this round.
Yeah,
ตอนนี้
that's
เด็ก
what
แม
you
ป
were
คอน
kind
โทร
of
ลได้
talking
แล้ว
about. Don't give the
เอา
opening
ได้
pick
อีกหนึ่ง
away.
ครับ
เรียบร้อยเฮียแมปคอนโทร
Another call.
เอ้ยหรือว่าเราต้องลองเล่นแบบคอนโทรวะเล็ก
This will really slow down SSG even more. They've got to take some time out, and Ashen will find a really important
อั
kill
นนี้
onto
เตะกลับ
Dots.
มาได้ตัวหนึง
And
ครับ
that's the
แอชเช่น
case down as
เฮ้ย
well.
เป็นจ้า
โอ้โหเป็นโอ้ย
Replay low
เป็นจ้า
is going to fall
Hey,
and
Atchen.
flip it. This, there we go. Ashen
Sure.
will get that kill as well, but it's a 3v2. There's 39
3
seconds to go. This could still
เตะ
go
หน้า
either
โล
way.
มากครับ
W7M, they'll have all the control verticality established for them. They hold that, no one can play inside of reading room.
Well,
That
Timmy
site's
T4
completely
นะ
cracked open. The
โอ้
verticality
เล่น
still
ช้า
chewing
มากระยะ
through.
30 วิแล้วทีม
Like 2 ships in the night, misses that opportunity to find that pick. That could have been the leveling ground. Again,
ช้าอย่างวะ
W7M taking the time this
เข้า leading
advantage.
แน่นอน
One player
ดรอปพิล่ามา
in the pillars. Body
Đây là
standing
video
up,
thứ
the
bảo.
cover from heaven should be good, but it's not
Đọc
there in
video
time.
ไม่รู้
Opportunity now for
Phải
Ashen to
ngay.
make something stick.
เอ้า
Finding one.
เรียบร้อย
Dash as well.
เรียบร้อย เรียบร้อย ไม่ได้การแฝงไม่วางโดนไหนตีเรียบร้อย เรียบร้อย กระโดดเลยดิครับ
Pillars to make that round work. And fire to the
ไม่
knife
ดี
as
เหี้ย
well.
เลยอะ W เซล
Love
เนี่ย
it.
เล่น
Things you
เล่
love
น
to see.
เหี้ยอะไรวะ
Doing things, but Whippet, it was
แบบแทนที่มึงมีแมน
honestly
เอเวนเทจ
W7M
มึง
have
ควร
gotta
จะแบบ
be
เช็คโดน
really
เอาโดนไป
disappointed
เช็ค
with that
นั่น
round.
ตร
They
ง
had
นี้
all
กิ
the
จการ
chips
แฝ
in
ง
the right place to take the round
ไม่
win,
ทำวะ
and they let it slip away.
หรือไม่มีคนดู
And
กล้อง
funny enough, off
หรือ
the
ยังไง
back of a round win, you know, with just 2
คิดว่าน่าจะ
rounds
ใช่
left on the defensive half for SSG,
เหี้ย
Colin has
เอ้
elected
ย
to take a timeout, and I spoke to him
ถ้าติด
recently
กล้องไว้ฟิลล่า
about
แล้ว
the,
ตัว
you
ห
know,
นึ่ง
the thought
เนียนๆเนี่ย
process.
แล้วยิง
เออ
แค่
ติด
ถึงโง่ๆแบบ
ถ้า
นั้น
ติด
อะ
ก้อนพิล่า
ได้
จบแล้วจบแล้วกูบอกเลย แต่ไม่
แล้วมันก็จะเหลือ
3
3-1
If there's
เอล่า
enough
เลือดเหลือ
defensive
10
rounds left or
ดู
not
จริ
in
งครับ
that half,
อี
then
ซี่
he
วิ
can
น
make an impact
มี
on
แฟด
those
มีเฟิร์
rounds.
ดแล้วก็มี
And B,
อีซี่
if there's something critical,
Lên
so
lề
something
กันว่า
he's
ดิวซิลเนม
really seeing that he's not liking from his team,
แม่ง
he
ไม่
will
ใช่
slow
บา
it
ซิเลียน
down.
ที่กูรู้จัก
And
เลย
being
เออ
honest, I wouldn't
ไอ้
be
เหี้ย
surprised
แม่ง
if
ไม่
what
ดุ
he's
ดัน
talking
เล
about
ย
right
ไอ้
now
เหี้ย
is not playing too aggressive in those 5v5s at times whenever you've got key positions of the map being held.
While of course I think playing a little bit more
มึงไม่
reserved
เล่นเหมือน
works,
เรา
but
แร
they're
กวะ
already playing
ใช่ไหม
reserved.
เหี้ยมึงบรา
It
ซิ
feels
ล
like
จริง
they're
ปะ
going to
เนี่ย
get pushed out. Utility usage from W7 has been good to find that opening pick, but again, are they going to play around denying that? Wamai getting brought out now by Ashen, and that's going to be maybe playing into that. The Capital have also been very good at clearing out these key positions for it, but for SSG, that one play, that round, that 2 versus 3 that they just won, that could be a catalyst for this team. They like to get energized. They like to play
เนี่ยมั
around.
นไม่มี
It's
ส
a
แตท
very
ชั้น3
emotional
หรือเปล่าวะ
side.
เหี้ยเอเดที
So
มัน
they
เลย
can
ไม่ใช่
ไม่แน่นะ
jump on board with this one. W7 have absolutely oh no, Benja. This
เฮ้ยแต่ซาอุดิอาระเบียตอนนี้มันเช้าอยู่นะ อาจจะไม่ชินเล่นตอนเช้าเปล่ายังไม่ตื่น
That's a freebie.
เจ็ดแลก
เจ็ดแรกยังไม่ตื่นบอกว่า
We picked
ป
up
กติ
Benja,
ตื่น
and
ช้า
then we
ตื่น
have to
บอก
do
ว่า
dirty
เวลา
with
เล่น
that
ตอน
replay.
กลางคืนไง
จริงจริง
I don't know what to say
ตอ
about
นนี้
that
แม่ง
one,
ช้า
really.
แม่งช้ากว่าเราแบบ 2-3 ชั่วโมงก็ประมาณบ่ายโมง
Windy
อะ
in the playing stage.
That is the
Yeah.
air conditioning is really powerful.
Exactly. Benja just couldn't tame the mouse with that one. But Forrest again saw the
โอ้เหี้ยเบน
opportunity
จา
to
แบดเอมเลย
Ashen
เมื่อ
denies
กี้
that cover.
เมื่อกี้
Forrest
เบนจา
keeps
โคตรแบดเอม
around,
อะ
gets the knife kill. It
Overlay
looks great. We don't
นี่
see that too often, but again, massive play. I mean, SSG, great position from them now. The build off that moment. Just can they make things work? And a bit of delay getting in here before. But for W7M, they've played fantastic
อ๋อ
so
ช่วย
far.
กันครับ
As we look
แก
towards
เก
the
มไอ
second
เจล
half
สั่ง
when we
แล้ว
get
ไอ
there.
เจลสั่งแล้ว
Do we see W7M being able to deal with the not unpredictability of what SSG bring, but it's the very, let's say, unique style of offense this side offers?
I think that when you play in Brazil as your primary region, you're
เบน
going
จา
to
เล่น
be in
เป็น
a
ซัพพอร์ต
position
เหรอวะ
to defend against
ไม่ใช่มันเป็นซัพ
explosive
พอร์ต
plays like SSG.
ทำไม
like
มัน
do,
นั่ง
you know,
ข้าง
it's what
IGL
we've
เลย
seen
วะ
Furia do in the past. You know, that old
ไหน
W7
แอดเชนเล่น
roster that became
เล่น
that,
แฟกเกอร์มันยังนั่งข้างไอเจลเลย
the exception to the rule was probably
ไม่รู้เขาตั้ง
NIPs,
ยังไง
but
เขาอาจจะเอาแฟกเกอร์เอาไว้ข้าง
fine.
IGL
But the
บอกว่า
main
เน้น
thing for
ตัว
SSG
ยิง
is that they don't do what they tend to do and end up when you're not given that opening pick or nobody gives it early that you're forced to try and put every rush site with 30 seconds seconds left on the clock.
ไอ้เหี้ยทำเอามึงยังไม่จบอีกเหรอ เกมเป็นไรเกมบั๊กเหรอ
channels today. Check all your social media channels for that, where these games will be playing. But I mean, we've got Cruelty BDS being played, and that's a game actually that we personally have stakes in. Gib, you have to mention, of course, as we covered Latin America during stage 1 this season. listen, Cruelty went to Manchester, didn't look great. I'll be honest there. I'll be candid with my words.
อเมริกากล้ามแม่งใหญ่กว่าไอ้เหี้ย
Dante comes to that roster. We
ไป
spoke
อยู่
a
ดิ
little bit
เฮีย
before we went live.
K5 Esports เป็น K5 จิมไอ้เฮีย
They're striving. They want to learn. They want to get out to these events, and they look relaxed. They look confident.
มันใช้
Now,
ซาวการ์
I
อะไร
don't know
วะ
what
น่ะ
the score is. I don't have that information to me how that game is going so far. But BDS is going to be difficult.
เห็นไหมพี่เคอร์มันไม่ได้ใช้จอโซวี่เห็นปะไอ้
get
มัน
4
มัน
rounds
เป็นสปอน
against
เซอ
them.
ร์จอเฮียแล้วอย่างอะไรเป็นสปอนเซอร์
Yeah, BDS and Riyadh is a tough ask for anybody, isn't it?
Shaiko over here. I mean, what? MVP of the R6 tournament, 2
น่าจะ
years
แบ
in
น
a row.
ซาอุดี
Massive prize benefit for him. So he's got a lot to play for
แบรน
this.
ด์ของประเทศ
And
เขาหรือเปล่า
the
เขาอยากจะ
legacy,
ส
of
นับ
course.
สนุนประเทศเขาหรือเปล่า
Traveling out here previous 2 years, of course, with a separate event, Gamers 8, hosted here in the Boulevard as well. I mean, BDS, I mean, we'll talk about it. The
ชอบว่ะเฮียไม่มีกล้องนั่งตั้งอยู่ข้างหน้าด้วย
went to Manchester.
เฮียกูเขินตายเลย
ไอ้เฮียแอบดูดพอร์ตไม่ได้เลย
Now all of a sudden that we see, you know, that they lose the Beast Coast. Beast Coast had this monumental run. You know, Gunnar had a little bit of a revenge tour. I think someone might have lit a fire underneath him for that one. I wonder if they're co-streaming this.
I feel like though when you look at that final,
ทำเอานานยังวะ เกมบั๊กปะเนี่
that
ย
was the perfect storm for for Beast Coast. I don't think you'll ever see everything fall into place as perfectly as it did for that miracle run. The coach's last main event. You've got all, as we like to say, the misfits coming to one place and winning an international tournament. But out here, BDS are built different. But we'll pick up on that a little bit later on. We're going to jump back into SSG against W7M. 2 rounds left on the defensive half for
ชั้น
SSG.
2อีกแล้วนะครับเล่นในชั้น2ไอ้เหี้ย
We know that they're a little weaker. Do you see the 3-3 as a
เล่
win
นจะ
for
เป็นใน
them?
ชั้น2วะ
Do they still expect to
ชั้น
get
2
2
แม่ง
rounds
ดีเหรอ
against
วะ
W7M?
I think realistically for either of these sides, if you come in
น่าจะ
after
ดี
the
กว่าชั้
แต่
น
ก็ดี
3
กว่า
นะ
ชั้น
กู
3 แล้วกันสำหรับกูนะ
it's not an ideal position, but again, it's better than trailing for
เอ
either
อ
of
ใน
these
เกม
sides.
เดี๋ยวเราเล่นในชั้น2วะพี่
I'm still
Oh,
looking
man.
at, I think W7 have played a really good offensive from the 2 rounds victories that we've seen from them. They do so far have that tendency to get an early advantage or even a mid-game advantage and slow the game down to a crawl. And that leaves SSG with opportunities to work a play around it. They can work the problem. Forest in a 4 versus 1, not really winnable. But when you have 2 players alive and you have Ashen and Forest able to make a play off each other, that's where SSG can still be dangerous. And if W7M, I think they need to have that lethality. They need to go for that throat when they see the chance, because I think there's enough around this SSG team that if you give them time to work a problem, they can solve it. And we have the talent to make that work.
Looking at the lineup that's been brought by W7M, and they've brought Brava. Obviously, we don't see a Maestro or Valk this time round for SSG, but when you look at the secondary utility being brought by W7M, lots of flash grenades, lots of smokes. I think the Brava might get a lot of value working against that Wamai, because a lot of the successful attacks from W7M, they've used a lot of utility. SSG have now worked to counter that with Wamai, and now the Brava could be able to catch a couple of those discs. Otherwise, you're not really picking Brava for the weapon. Maybe you use a super shotty to create some verticality. But I feel like maybe that's a wasted pick, but never mind. Open with
เฮียยิงจากตรงนี้เลยเหรอ
He's on the roof. No.
เป็นจากมาสเตอร์มึงทำอะไร
I'm leaving the rank stack after that, I can't lie.
Not even played ranked this season. What are you talking about?
I just don't want to queue with you. You're too much of a troll. But Loban gets an opening pick. Benji's off the board. You lose your Legion. Guman shed it over time. It's going to be a little bit of a blow, detriment to the team later on, but not the massive one. But the firepower of Benja on that T5 SMG, no longer applicable for the side of SSG. W7M begin to work their way towards this map to get that top floor control, dropping in the red hatch. You see that blue silhouette of one member of SSG still lurking in Piano and Cocktail. See if they can make something stick from it. For W7M yet again, taking their time, not rushing in, want to make the right decisions. Well, going to make the wrong one there. Ashen peeks out, finds dots, in that case goes cold. SSG get themselves back to a level playing count.
Yeah, Case is going to fall. There's a now fight with red stairs going on. There's a flash grenade being thrown, but no damage being dealt. And look at the cover from J9O.
เดินเข้ามาแบบนี้เลยเหรอเฮีย
Ghost falls and Dodes gets another onto J9O as well. Suddenly everything fall apart, but a bit of a
อุ้ย
twist.
เกียรสวย
And
จัด
Forest now in a 1v3, 1v2
เรียบร้อย
standing
เรียบร้อยนั่น
players.
น่ะ
But I don't know if that res is going to come through. Forest is covering it.
อะไร
The
วะ
case
อะไร
is
เนี่ย
cold,
เอ้า
but it don't matter. Volps gets the kill. W7M
หลุด
take the lead.
หลุดแน่เลย
I think
หลุดแน่เลย
this is going to be
หลุดแน่เลยเมื่อกี้ยืนค้างอยู่ข้างบนน่ะเห็นปะ หลุด
Again,
Wow,
SSG,
they don't
great
wow.
job. Ashen behind that mining equipment done a very good job to get that pick. The case goes cold, and the team just
len
fell
doon
apart
nila, yeah.
instantly. And that's just through the explosive capability of what W7M can bring. They're able to find those picks, and there was nothing really traded off for SSG within that chaos. At least nothing had stuck. It was only a DBNO that was maximized from it. But
อเล็กมีคนหาทีมว่ะ
SSG survival mode, but a 4-2 split. If they do lose this, isn't the worst
Yeah,
place to
and
be
Gear.
on your attacking side on Cafe, considering this team does like.
ไม่ได้
เข้าทีมเราเหรอเล
It
ย
is off the back.
ไม่เขาเพิ่มหาทีมใน
No
That is
more
true.
left to use. That
They could-
could be key going later into the game. If W7M do pick that 4-2 half, and Collard cannot
โอ้ยเฮีย
communicate
นี่
with
มัน
his team
ตัว
for the
โง่
rest of
เล
the
ย
game,
เฮียเนี่ย
it becomes a very
โอ้โหเฮีย
tough
โคตรโง่
battle
ไอ้เฮีย
indeed
เนี่ย
for SSG. But for W7M, this is
เฮียนี่ตัว
been
โง่
a
เลย
really good start. They're getting
เคยเล่นกับมันในดิสคอมมูเลย
Most
เฮีย
of
โคตร
the
โง่
rounds have been able to find that open pick. They're
มันขึ้นใน
you
บอล
know, they're
มัน
changing
โดน
their pace.
เพื่อนใน
The
เบล
very
แบก
first
ไอ้
round
เฮีย
was a rush where they got the case down within the first 30
เออ
seconds.
มันโคตร
They're
โง่ไอ้
keeping
เฮียเนี่ย
SSG on their toes, and it's one of
แร
the
ง
things
แม่ง
that
วัด
I
เฮียอะไร
think
ไม่ได้
Brazilian
อีกต่อ
teams
ไป
do so well at the moment.
The Dokkaebi use from the side of W7M has been superb as well. Another one of those things teams will be looking out on again. It's the whenever you leave Dokkaebi available, teams are going to use it.
จะบอกว่า
And Echo in play being brought out here and aggressive. Oh
aggressive
no,
stuff.
this is a dangerous
Aggressive
one.
stuff.
Not a lot of space to run. And well,
Oh.
I appreciate the confidence. False does fall. Dots gets
Good
that opening
idea.
pick, and again, that's going to be a worst case scenario now for SSG. An aggressive peek out from Whitesair's window. That bailiff can shred you up close and personal, so a dangerous one, but
บอกว่าอะไรพี่เถอะ
they'll not cross paths
จะบอก
just
ว่า
yet.
ไอ้ที่เราเปิดรับสมัครคนไปใน
Little bit of damage
Facebook
done,
อะ
both Forbes and Dots from those early encounters. And well,
เคไฟ
it's
เก่า
going to
ไม่
be
มา
the
คอม
best
เมน
of
ต์
play
อุ้
from
ย
Action. Jumps out, finding one, vaults off the board.
ที่นี่โหด
He'll
จั
get
ด
a free
นะเช่น
recovery all the way in Garage. Great timing from SSG to bring themselves
Cái
level
cậu
in
này
player
là
count
cái
yet again.
What I love about that is he timed the vault out.
คือ
but
เค
he
ไฟเก่า
timed with
มา
the
ปั่น
call
คอม
from
เม
the
นต์เต็มเลย
Dokkaebi as well, which usually expect players to
ไม่มีใคร
freeze at that
เข้า
point
จี
as
บ
a
เรา
move
เลย
downstairs. Ashen gets
อุ้ย
a double
เฮีย
on
ไม่
the
ได้
rise.
เฮีย
He's
มันโหด
still
จังวะ
not made his way back to
Yeah,
site, but that is huge
Yeah.
from
น่า
Ashen
จะเป็น
to
วัน
give
ของเขาอะ
SSG a really good chance in this round, having lost the opening pick.
Ashen having yet another fantastic round, and I have a
Yeah, man,
feeling
good,
that
I
this
can
might
see
be a
it,
moment
is
where
that-
Ashen might start to heat up in this. Before we had that technical pause and the scoreboard reset,
มันสลับ
he was
ชื่อกัน
leading
ป่าววะ
in
พี่เถอะ
terms
แบบ
of
บรา
frags
ซิล
for
มา
this
อยู่ฝั่ง
side,
ลับ
so
อะไรเงี้ยแบบวิ่ง
continuing
แอค
that
ทีฟ
trend
ตัดแล้ว
so far.
อเมริกาเป็นฝั่ง
You
บุก
wanna
Make up
know
for
how
book.
Jones vote from anything,
เฮี
no
ย
matter how much you hide them. Opening all the way in white wall as well. Long angle, long line of sight. Dodes though can't deny that with his A-cup. Red goes out, burns away that barbed wire. Knows it's going to be a threat lurking in Christmas and
ทำอะไรข
VIP.
องมั
Needs
น
to
แล้ว
deal
มัน
with it.
แผนบุกมันยังไงวะเนี่ย
Isolated, limited utility to work with, limited information to work with. He'll play off assumptions here. No one to trade him if he does fall.
Shotgun close though from J9O. If he times this perfectly, it's as free as they come. Another attempted push is going to come from Brownstairs. But remember, the barbed wire still hasn't been cleared. There's a bit of utility thrown. There's two players stacking up there.
Yeah,
With the
the
smoke,
moment,
that'll
yeah,
at least make a lot of
that-
damage. But
That's
they're
a
pushing
bad
and getting
down.
aggressive.
Ui,
But that's
ไม่
gonna
ได้
be
ยิง
the
เลยอะ
Dodes will find the kill on the J9O.
ยังไง
And Ashen
เช่น
will need to continue his
ตัว
big
แปร
round. There's one on Brian. He misses that shot, but the trade is good.
Aggressive
Dots
ไปหน่อย
there to take him down. 3v2
30 วิ
Echo still in play with
มี
35 seconds. That could
มี
be
โอกาส
a
ชนะ
huge problem as long as Benja can just
นี่
keep
ผมว่าชนะ
slowing
ได้
them
เนี่ย
down.
พี่
Benja plays such a key role in this round. Needs to keep all the pressure away from his Echo. Unsure how many of these Yokai drones still remain in the fray. IQ, of course, a massive factor in this. And Benja needs to win his ones. And that's exactly what he'll do.
Ui,
Finding two.
Benja!
Benja millimeters away from
Ow,
third.
ไม่ได้
With 13 seconds remain, SSG
คิวไหม
look golden to get this round locked
เป็น
out.
จ้า
Triple zero is going to be a nightmare.
Benja!
Finding
Benja!
third. That's what he needed. And that's what SSG find to bring
Benja
themselves
เอาให้
level in the half.
เป็นแต่บอกว่า
Benja and
เล่นอะไรอ่ะ
Ashen, that's exactly what they would have
ช้า
wanted
ให้เรีย
to
กว่า
when they
ช้า
had
เลย
those
ใช่
two players on your roster. Ashen laid the foundations for that round one with the
ว่าส
huge
แตท
vault out the
ไม่ได้
window,
ที
the
มก็
kill
ไม่ได้
on
แบบ
Brown
ดี
Stairs,
ขนาดนั้น
and
ได้เว้ย
then
แต่แบบ
Benja in that
มันบุก
position.
ไม่เข้าเอง
Yes, your
อ่ะ
Echo is enabling you with whatever information you can get from the Val cams, from the Echo drones.
อ๋อบัก
But
ตาย
Benja comes
นี่
in
ตัวขุด
clutch.
หัว
And whenever they were playing well, when G2 were playing well, that's the sort of play that Benja was making more frequently than you would have expected.
Oh, millimeters away from a perfect three-piece, but he collects it a little bit later on. That's what I like to see, the emotion, the passion from Ashen. Feel like the emotional core of that side. And Benja, well, Benja's stoic. He won't... quite a little
ไอ้
danger.
เหี้ยแอดเทนไอ้สัตว์หน้าแม่งโคตรติด
If
แต่
you
แม่งโคตร
notice,
ท็อก
by
ซิก
the
ไอ้
way,
เหี้ย
in the background, J9O was, you know that, meaning not
แม่งยิง
bad.
ใครก็ตายไม่เข้าไปตามศพเขาแต่หน้าตัวจริงแม่งโคตรติดไอ้เหี้ย
จริง
But that's, I mean, for SSG though, that brings some level on that defense. So we're moving to their side of preference realistically, then this is where this side has been much better across international and regional play. So can they keep that going here against
เล่น
them?
ชั้น3ให้กูดูสักราวดิกูอยากรู้มันจะกันยาก
I
แค่
mean,
ไหน
I've not seen how this team's played with Benja. Of course, a massive shake-up of roles as iconic departs his team.
เดี๋ยวพี่ก็
Benja
รอส
steps
โม
in.
กมา
It's
ยืนตรง
not a
นี้ด้วย
one-for-one
ดีอยู่
change.
นะ
But the idea
เอา
is
ส
to
โมกมา
call
ยืน
out
ตรง
brings
VP
this
เนี่ย
team
ให้
the
เพื่อนช่วย
structure
คอ
they
สบา
have.
ร์
ตอนนั้นกูเคยทำสแตทแล้ว
And they solve the problem now.
มีชูบราวด้วยเอาไปฟรีซ
แต่จริงๆถ้าเปลี่ยนจากสโมกเป็นในนี่น่าจะดี
Drone
กว่า
economy is
Warden
excellent.
lah. Warden.
SSG, they've only
Nah.
lost one so far.
แต่
And
ผม
they've still
ว่า
ว่า
got
สแตท
เล่นเหมือน
สแตท
จีก็ได้นะเว้ย
the phase by
ที่มัน
phase
แบบเอา
tech
ส
that
โมก
they
มา
want
ถ่วง
to
เว
do.
ลาให้มัน
Now, they've
แค่เข้า
opened up
ช้า
that long angle.
มันก็เวิร์ก
ๆ
มัน
โด
ก็
น
เวิร์ก
โค้
It's a real
แต่ว่าถ้า
extensive
สมมุติเจอ
double
ทีม
set
ที่ยัดแฟด
W7M.
อย่างเนี้ยก็ตาย
Nobody's
ไง
really playing on site because of the danger of the verticality on this map. An opportunity there for Loban to find
แล้วทำไมมันไม่ยัดแฟดไว้เหี้ย
will manage to
นั่นแห
avoid
ละ
each other this
อ้าวไอ้
time
เหี้ย
around.
เปิดให้ฝั่งนู้น
This
เฉ
is what
ย
the plan is with this defense. You don't hold the site, you hold everything
Ui,
adjacent to the
ôi.
เฮ้ยฟอร์เรส
Scrappy either way. 50-50 gunfight.
เฮ้ยมีคนเดินมา
bias in that
เบน
one.
จาเนียนมาเนียน
Lewis
มา
gets
เบน
it,
จา
he might be able to find himself a second.
Yep.
Flashbang
เอ้ย
goes
เรีย
out.
บร้อยเป็นจ่า
Benja finding one more in the round brings his team level and player count. And what I like
Sai bảo
this from
Benja mới
Benja,
เอาตอนนี้มันท็อป
bounding
แฟก
in,
เลย
taking
เหี้ย
space, taking
Yeah.
control. Very stylistic.
ทีม
What
กู
we
ไม่
see
เอา
from
กูเอาเองเบน
SSG.
จาบอก
Now met by mess of barbed wire in this hallway. He's got a player in VIP to deal with. He still has one logic bomb in back pocket. Limited support. Ashen realistically
เอาไว้
close
ยัง
to
ไง
him
วะ
can provide that on the other side of the
เอ้ย
map.
แต่ว่าทีมญี่ปุ่น
Two
เมื่
bodies
อวานนี้
stacked
ที่
up
เรา
on
ส
the
กิน
throughway
ก็
with
เจอ
barbed
ก็
wire
ก็เล่น
wire
แบบนี้
on
นะ
brown stairs. And actually, no, they
They
won't.
will.
They'll get some extra
ก็เล่นแบบ
information.
นี้
But
นะ
they know
แบ
it's
บ
going
ว่า
to
เอา
be two stack holding that
ส
push
โม
from
กกับ
Garage.
แต่ว่า
Yeah,
จาก
they
เทอ
heard
ร์บู
you
เหลา
say
มา
it,
เปลี่ยนเป็น
they
โก
went
โย่
right
อะ
because they're actually sitting right behind you. But this is where the verticality starts to happen. So don't expect much to happen for the next 20-30 seconds other
Oh,
than
yeah, you got
angles
good
being
handle.
created. But this is what W7M have set up for. They're like, we're going to let
me
you
you,
create
me
the
you.
verticality. We'll put a little bit of pressure on the ground floor. But trying to take sites where the problem arises, because there's a player in VIP holding that hatch drop, and because there's a
Bên
player
ta nhìn nhắn
inside
chặt
of
thì
Whiskey
ạ.
making sure nobody comes down brown stairs,
Vậy bên
it
ta
makes
nhắn
the
chặt.
push that SSG are trying to do
Họ lúa hả?
incredibly difficult.
รู้
This is
แล้ว
going to be a must-win fight for either side. Flores drone goes out. They're going to push behind it. They don't commit all the way. They can't.
อุ้ย
the flash
เรียบ
back
ร้อย
this time.
เรียบร้อย
Loban finds one
อุ้
more.
ยโลจัด
Ashen
คาโซ่กู
falls.
โลจัด
VIP remains a fortress for W7M. 35 seconds. SSG reduced to 2. J90 and Fultz, the last remaining survivors of this side. Still need to break the defense inside of that site itself. Zodo counter sent out, the last of that arsenal. And
อ้าว
Fultz
จะ
again.
เข้าแล้ว
That's Loban
inside
on the board.
inside
And this could be the lifeline that they so
Oh,
desperately
oh,
need.
oh.
J90 is going to fall the box. And it's gonna
Live
be a drop kick
Lloyd.
back. It's got
Live
to
Lloyd.
picks up the round, the very first
เกมมัน
defense
สู
of
สีจัดเลย
W7M.
นะ
เก่ง
I'm
สูสี
looking at
อยู่
the
นะ
round history of this game, and they have gone back and forward every single round.
Yep.
W7M, SSG, W7M, SSG.
Dạ,
It
Thà
has
Lòn Lao.
continued that way from the very start. And to be honest, when we looked at today's matchups, this is the one that looked like it was going to be this way the most. Now, this game will be won by the team that can get 2 rounds in a row, that can stop this little back and forward that we have going on now. Because you feel like
ไอ้
with
เก
the way
สี
they're
เจอไอ้
playing,
เกสีป่ะไอ้เหี้ย
once
แบบ
there's
น่าจะ
breathing
มัน
room,
ไอ้พวกเหี้ยนี่
it
เล่น
becomes
เหี้ยอะไร
very
กันไม่รู้
difficult
เลย
to
อะ
close that gap.
แม่งเรียกว่าช้ากูจะหลับไอ้เหี้ย
I mean, SSG need to keep
แบบ
some touching
แบบ
distance. I feel like
มัน
they
มี
can
แบบ
do
ทุบบ
that.
ริเกตแล้ววิ่งเข้าไซส์ไปเลยอะอยาก
They get
เห็น
the
แบบนั้น
2-round
อะ
advantage here.
ในเอสไออะอยากเห็นแบบนั้นอะ
จริง take them out
แบบ
from
ทุบ
that
แล้ววิ่งเข้าไป
moment.
เลยไม่ใช้โดนอะ
Like his team
เราเป็น
again,
ทีม
this
ทำ
4
ทีมแรกก็พี่
5 together longer. New addition to SSG.
ได้ครับ
today.
IGL
I think they'll manage the game
แบบ
better
ไม่คิ
from
ด
that
เหี้ยอะไร
lead
กู
position
เข้า
once
แม่ง
they
เลย
get daylight
ไอ้เหี้ย
between
จี
them
ทู
and
งง
SSG.
เนี่ย
Not out
เอ
of
เชียน
this
เล่น
just
เหี้ย
yet.
อะไรกันเอฟแบกเล่น
Still
เหี้ยอะไร
lots
กัน
of
ไอ้
fight
แปลก
left
นั่
in
งเล่นนี่อะไร fucking monkey
Both
เฮีย
darling and Solace. Not as strong as he once was.
นี่ไงไม่เล่นชั้น3แล้ว ใน
Still
ที่สุด
good, but this setup is one that I love. So what we'll see is Mute will play inside of Humidor with the shotgun, with the C4 ready to top the red drop. You've got the castle barricade to stop a player from getting on the rappel and getting an angle inside of
เอา
Humidor.
แอดไป
And
มัน
you've
ก็
got
ติ
the
ดบา
mirror
ร์ไหม
from
ติด
Sub
เหี้ยอะไรเยอะแยะ
to take
เคลียร์ไม่ได้สัก
control
ที
of Piano itself. So it's a very aggressive defense from W7M that just makes it a little bit more difficult to drop red hatch, which is something you see teams do oh so often. What W7M want SSG to do is to drop those hatches and try play that way, but they might be forced to maybe take the map from below or go for some sort of a dive through the skylight because, as it's all set up to stop the red drop.
The thing is, SSG don't have the resources to do something like that dive bomb from the skylight if they need something drastic. They don't have that ying. It's going to be a very important part of that. So the addition of the gridlock to me seems like it's going to be a very, very typical take or a stylistic approach from them. And the Solus down below is going to be a massive factor for
แต่มันปกติแล้วไม่มีอะไรบือหวาไม่มี
able
อะไร
to
พิเศ
hunt
ษ
out drones, able to
อยู่ที่จังหวะแหละ
manipulate and weave around the map to remain undetected at least best that they can. Be a massive factor though. Dox does take damage early from that window. A difficult angle, C4 prepped and ready. They will descend down to keep themselves in this fight. This is going to be the threat now. The Solus down below sees that Claymore, knows pressure's arriving on that window, and can make an aggressive push. And well, plays their cards a bit strong and revealing their positions as track stingers begin to deploy.
I like the aggression. It just slows the attack down that little bit more by creating little bits of pressure at a time. Solace is still below, getting all this information for the team. A ton of utility now being pushed.
Fantastic.
This is really good. There's Capital forcing Dodez up on top of the balcony, but Whip it.
เฮ้ยเฮียดูแผนดูมันบุกดิพี่เคย
They didn't get
บุก
that
ดี
pick.
อยู่เนี่ย
No one to capitalize on the space that bought.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when
yeah,
the
yeah.
fire, when the
Yeah,
bees
yeah,
go
yeah,
away,
yeah.
you've lost
I
your
don't
two
keep that.
mates. There's not a lot you can do other than taking a gunfight down below, but he's now safe from that in the most sense of it. So SSG, they've played their strat, and now they have to adapt on the fly. This is where the pressure of IGL falls on, and actually he's going to fall off that playing count now. So 4 versus 5, advantage with the defense of W7M. SSG strategy, they've sent it, didn't work, didn't get the space, couldn't capitalize. Now what can they do? W7M have to sit, coast, and be patient as that time, every second that ticks down is going to help them up. And as you mentioned, they've got to make that dive bomb, they've got to make that final play. Jumping down the sky, that's going to be a flurry of kills on W7M.
ไฟฟ้าอะไรครับ
Down to try and recover
มาจาก
and
บราซิล
scrap
ครับ
away through what's left of this
นี่มาไง
round,
เนี่ย
but nothing remains. All
แสดงว่า
down
ไม่
to
ติดกล้องนางแบ
Jadano.
งค์แน่นอน
Mirror
แบบ
window
นี้
staring him down. Not a lot as the case is cold upstairs. He's got to play for kills. And he's not going to find a single one on that moment. Dots gets it, shuts it down. W7M find daylight. They now lead by 2.
ถ้าไม่ติดกล้องกันแบงค์กันเหรอวะ
It's what
ก็เลย
เอ
เป็น
อ
ไงนี่
ทีมพวกนี้มันไม่ติดกล้องกันฟันมันไม่กูตั้งแต่กูดูมากูยังไม่ให้เขาเห็นยังไม่เห็นเขาเล่นโดนแบบจริงจังเลยนะ
And it does not work against a team like
ไม่รู้เขาอะ
W7M. I've been
เขาลืม
keeping
หรือเปล่า
track
หรือว่ากล้อง
of
แตกหรือเปล่า
the opening picks in
ไม่
this
รู้
game
อะ
as well. Only 2 of the 8 rounds we've had so far have SSG been able to find the opening kill. It's been W7M time and time and time
โอ้ยไม่
again.
ได้ตัวกล้อง
And it's you got to give SSG credit for even winning 3 rounds when they've been that
แต่
much
แย่ขนาด
against the
นั้นยิ
numbers
งยัง
for
เอา
so
กล้อง
much
มา
of
อี
the
กไอ้
game.
เหี้ย
We let
อิน
you
โฟ
call that
แน่น
the bounce back start line. Realistically, if you lose that opening pick, how well is our team's able to deal with that? I'm looking at it right now for SSG. They need someone to really play in that tip of the spear lineup. Now, Jadano is going to be on the Ash, and that's going to be, to me, that idea. He's hitting shots, getting confident jumping on that Ash. I mean, Benj is not a natural entry, realistically, for teams. Plays in a more flex role, and so you need that firepower to be supported. But SSG, on this offense, need to find that opening pick. And it's going to be a difficult defense to do it against. It's going to be staring down the barrel of 2 Yokai drones, 3 Evil Eyes, the Maestro, castle barriers, laser gates, and the mirror window. This is going to be a very, very brutal game of utility usage to break down this defense of W7M.
And I love it. And you look at the lineup that's being brought by SSG, they don't really have the best setup for getting rid of tons of utility. Yes, Hibana can be utilized to get rid of some of those castle barricades to open up the mirror window, but for the most part, no Gone 6s in play, nothing really there. This is very, very tough for SSG. They need to find the opening pick though. They need to change the way things have been going, because if you give W7M a man advantage on defense, this will be 6-3.
I couldn't agree more. Difficult one for SSG to solve. Drone network seems good. Only 3 drones lost from that starting prep phase. Mirror's not detected and able to sneak one more of those drones away. Poking out another one of these eyes of SSG. Every single drone lost could be a massive detriment for this team. Now, a lot of flashbangs to buy themselves some space. The 2 logic bombs is a massive tool as well. But I think they're going to slow this down a little bit, and they're going to try and assess the problem that they need to solve in this moment.
ยังไงวะ
First
กูคิดว่า
logic
W7M มีสิทธิ์
bomb
นะ
goes
เนี่ย
out, and doesn't look like anyone's really ready to capitalize of it. Benj is locked out of sight. The castle barrier shut him down, and he's playing on that more solo role. So he's left alone. He has to go all the way up downstairs and likely walk into another set of issues.
ลุ้น
And
อ
the
ยู่นะ
Maestro spotted the Brava drone as well, so this is kind of forcing Forest into a tricky spot there. The drone's going to get caught out, and now information is slowly being drained away from SSG. Benja is in on red top or red stairs, but the red, you can see the silhouettes. Everybody else for SSG is currently playing the building externally. They've not gone in, and with that castle barricade pace and the footholds, there's nothing to do.
But Ashen finds something, and that's going to be Dots, and that's going to be the opening pick of this. We mentioned SSG need to find that opening. They've done so. They've now relocated a player to help Benja open up that castle barrier and give them an access into mining. Very critical decision now from SSG. As Forest finds one more Loban off the board, but Benja traded off by Dash, and this is going to be a massive flank by Dudes finding one. Actually got one in that chaos, still dancing around the mining equipment. Can't shut down 2-piece for Dudes.
อยู่ในซ้ายอยู่ในซ้ายอยู่ใน
All
นี้
down the forest, and
เฮ้ย
one
ไม่ใช่
versus
ซ้ายด้วย
2. 40 seconds remain, and limited information to work with in this moment. Case is cold, and W7M will match stylistically now. They'll sit back, they'll wait, they won't extend. They'll press the advantage by letting the time do all that. Forest can trade much more damage away. Not unlosable. I think he's not going to last too much longer.
เฮ้ยเรียบร้อย
W7M take round number 9, and they find even more daylight between them.
3 rounds
โยนไปไกลเกินไง
for W7M. SSG got the opening 2 kills, but one flag
มันก็โหดอยู่เนี่ยไม่มีอะไรแต่ว่ามันเอาวินรัวๆเลย
SSG. You can't let somebody walk from
เอาแบบ
pillars right
เงียบๆ
towards mining door and get themselves a kill.
เล่นตัวจัด
It's like
กรุ๊ปสเตท
SSG
กรุ๊ปสเตท
is
มี
not the type of
เสม
team
อเปล่าวะ
that usually leaves gaps that big for the
ก
defense to
รุ๊ป
roam
สเตท
around,
มีดิ
particularly
เพ
when
ราะมัน
they've
เก็บ
got
แต้
such
ม
a
นะเว้ย
numerical advantage. So
อ๋อไม่มีนี่หว่ามันเป็นวินลอสเลย
I feel like they. Another way you can have that argument, did SSG lose the round or did W7M win it? You know, which team made them sick? I feel like SSG's
ไว้กันว่าจะสู
setup
สี
whenever they went for the extra
เหี้ย
lost them
แม่ง
the round.
แต่มันอยู่
I'm
เซเว่น
going
เอ็
to
ม
play a
กู
little bit
ตบ
on
เละ
the
เลย
opposite side of you. I think W7 had the perfect strat to counter what SSG done. I think
แม่งเล่นแบบเงียบๆจัดอะแบบไม่มีอะไรหวือหวาแม่ง
they had to adapt in that re-round. They had to relocate players.
PDS เป็นไงบ้างเราอะชนะยัง
They were likely hoping that
check my
Benja could use that logic bomb, walk up red stairs straight in the mining and find that pressure. Again, speaking, you know, we're not in the team. We don't know exactly what the call was.
6-3 แล้ว 6-3 แล้ว
That to me was going to be they're going to dive on and rotates once Benja walks inside. That's what I felt like that
Hemen
was
จะ6-4 แล้ว
all
PDS
about. And a single castle barrier shot that down.
PDS
And that's
ชนะ
going to be that true reality of Siege. Of
ปี
course,
นี้
it's got to play
แต่
it
ตอนนี้มัน
sometimes like
กำลังจะ
chess.
แพ้เราที่
That's what we
มันจะ
witnessed.
6-4 แล้วตอนนี้มันจะ 6-4 แล้ว
Advantage now for W7M. In a great
เดี๋ยว 10 วิ
position. They've
อุ้ย
done so well managing their rounds.
6-4 แล้วไอ้
See
เหี้
if
ย
they can continue that one.
I've been working with you 3.5 years and you've complimented
มาดู SSG ทีมที่ผมเชีย
more
ร์กัน
times
นะครับว่าเขาจะ
today than
6-4
you've
หรือเปล่า
complimented them in the previous 3 years combined.
That is true. However, European import and SSG is my team. So,
Thought Liquid were your
well,
team.
okay, SSG is my North American team when I'm not supporting Liquid. And I'm currently not
แผน
casting
บุกมัน
Liquid
ยังไงวะเนี่ย
as they're against PSG Talent.
เจนนังจะบีโทมีคนโดนเช็คไปโนยโดนเช็คไปโนยอ่ะ
The panic
Take
on
me, Nodi.
Liquid's face, by the way, whenever I said he complimented NA, like, huh?
Like,
What
oh
did I
my,
do?
I haven't even said NA drone once today.
There's
เออ
still
NO NA ยังไม่โดนเลยวัน
still
นี้
time. This is map
ไหน
point
เฮีย
though
แอด
for
เข้าไปแล้วนะ
W7M as they look to win the
ไอ้เฮีย
first
แม่งเข้าไปก่อน
big
นี่ยังไม่โดนด้วยนะ
of the Esports World Cup here on the A stream. Remember, there is 2 other
Right,
teams
I don't
going
be
on
told,
right
huh?
now, and you'll probably hear roars and cheers from them in the
Ui,
background
lắc
as
mày
well
cái bảo.
inside this fantastic
Lần
arena. Whip it. A minute gone off the clock. No opening engagements just yet. They've got Grim. They've got Dokkaebi. It's going to be another one of those
เล่นเหมือนเดิมเลย
really fast
ถ้าเป็นกู
executes
บุก
whenever
ไอ้
the
นี่แล้ว
time
นะ
is called based
ไอ้เหี้ย
on the lineup that they have.
บุกหัวบุกเบเกอรี่เนี่ยตอนเนี้ย
The
แต่
SSG
แจ็ค
fan
ไม่
inside of me wants this one to work, but I think W7M are just going to be too difficult to break down in this moment.
แล้วกูเอาบิดวิ่งยัดเข้าเบเกอรี่อ่ะไอ้เหี้ยหัวไล่อ่ะไอ้สัส
One takes out of
เนี่ยแผนทีมกูให้ต้องไปบีบโชว์อีกสเต็ปนึงอ่ะเอาโนแมนมาติดกันแฟน
that
แค่
floor,
นี้แหละ
PowerPoint positions to hold on to. They'll move through that map, and SSG have the confidence to do so. They know what W7M's defense is going to be. It's going to be a lateral hold of kitchen. Every team does it.
คุณเช็คหน่อยคุณโทษได้แล้วคุณจะทำไปต่อ
ไอ้เฮียกูดูแล้วกูง่วงแล้วเนี่ยไอ้เฮีย
แก้เกมนี้พี่แม่งขอโทษแล้วมึงทำอะไรได้
Again, look at the way SSG are moving around this map. Not a single wasted
เจ๊
motion.
แม่งขอ
Love
โทษ
this
เข้า
from
ใจ
this
ไม่ได้
side. Everyone moving with purpose. Everyone knows their role. And the first Grim cans are sent out. Godes hard by it.
เป็น
Logic
การ
bombs
ก็นั่ง
likely
ล็อก
follows
คิว
Bender's
เลย
gonna play a
เฮีย
critical role in getting this
ตาม
control
มา
of
3
VIP.
ราวมึงรู้ตัวไหมเนี่ย
Now to work with W7M don't need to take risks.
ส
SSG
รุปเป็น
have
จา
to
บอ
get
กอ้าวล็อก
aggressive
คุณนึก
now.
ว่ากู6
Yeah, it's not being cleared yet. There's still a castle barricade on that window as well, so you're
เนี่ยเป็น
free
กู
to
กู
play
เดิน
this
เข้าเบเกอ
position.
รี่เลยเนี่ยเฮียแบบ
And
ถ้า
do
มี
we
ปิดอี
have
กตัวนึงนี่
another
เฟี้ยวเลย
late game rotate? Some damage dealt on the castle. The kill
มันมี
has
คนมา
not
เบเกอ
been
รี่หรือ
fought.
เปล่าวะ
They need to win this next encounter, but
โอ้
Volts
ไม่นะ
finds it with the LMG. Banja finds one trade on towards Dots, but
น่าจะเป็น
pressure
ดาว
now
ของ
and time is going to
WCNM นะครับ
compact these teams together.
ลุกช้า
It's
เกิ
going to
น
be an absolute car crash to a final
เป็น
round
จ้า
potentially as
ถ้าเป็น
Banja's
จ้า
got
ไหลได้
himself deep inside a freezer, spots the rifle of a player behind the bakery counter, but can't do anything with that.
ดู
Every
กล้องเป็น
second
จ้า
brings joy. Dash finds one more.
เชี่ย
Nightmare is
Here!
7M flood the kill feed. Banja alone, finding a second
ที่เรียบ
round,
ร้อ
but nothing he can do inside a
ย
killboxing
โอ้
kitchen. And
ย
WCNM takes the very first victory of the
แต่
group
ไม่ได้
stage
ไม่ได้
of
แบบ
the
โอ้
Esports World Cup.
easy ว่ะ
4 rounds
Those
back
American
to
team
back to
โอ้
back
easy
to back
easy
with the
ดูเลย
close
กูขุ
that
ดหัว
one
แล้ว
out.
ปิดวิ่งเข้าเบเกอรี่เลยยัด
dominated
แบบฆ่า
start
เรา
dominated the
เช่น
opening
นั้น
pick.
ไหนอ่ะ
SSG did well to get a couple of
แล้วก็
rounds,
ล็อกแบบ
but
ล็
you're
อกจาก
never
รู
going
ที่
to
เข้า
win
เล
a
ย
game
แผ่
of
นน่ะ
Siege
ห
when
รือ
you're
ตัวนึงจะให้มันไปไหล
consistently
ก็ได้
giving away that opening kill.
จริง
W7M played a fantastic matchup in that. The way they were able to
เล่นอะไร
play
กันว่า
perfect
ยังมา
strats
เข้า
to
เบเกอ
deny
รี่
what
ตอน
SSG were
20
doing.
วิสุดท้ายมันก็ไม่
SSG
ได้
on
เดี๋ยว
the offense, which we've seen them be better on, fell a little bit flat there, but we're
เอ้ยนี่คือไอ้พอย
down. So I will throw it to our
ไอ้
desk
เหี้ย
and
อะไร
we
เนี่ย
can break
ทิส
down what
ตี้
we
มอ
just saw.
thirsty for more
Thank you very much for that, fellas. Well,
ดูทารอน
boys,
ดีกว่า
talk
ค่อย
to
มั
me
น
because W7M coming
ทารอน
out
อยู่
on
ส
top
ตรีม
with
ไหน
that
ยังไม่
one.
ชัวร์
How are they able to finally find that momentum that we've been searching for?
I think the
ภาษาสเป
SSG
น
ego
โปรตุเกส
challenge
เดี๋ยว
on Cafe didn't really work out in their favor. Cafe is a strong Brazil playstyle map. W7M
เอาดาร์ซิโร่แข่งอยู่เหรอไอ้ดูดาร์ซิโร่ดิ
ดาร์ซิโร่
เพื่อน
แข่ง
especially once when they
lower bracket if easy end up
เย็น
winning
นี่
this
กี่เก
game.
มได้ดาร์ซิโร่
เหี้ย
เราอะ
Of into the breach
Consulate
and Furia
เรียบร้อย
are already on their way. Bolo with
ดาร์ซิโร่ชนะไอ้เหี้ย
on to seriously who
ดา
now
ร์ซิโร่
drops to
ไม่น่าใช่งานยาก
4-10.
ของดาร์ซิโร่นะ
เออ
info
เจ
on
อ
the
กีเค
Deimos
กีเค
is lost.
ทีมเฮียอะไรวะ ทีมประเทศอะไรอะ
ทีมเจ้าบ้านไงทีมเจ้าบ้านไงซาอุไง
อ๋อเหรอ
Falling short.
เฮ้ยอากิซีเพอากิซีเพ
Aggressive
เนี่ย
Spots key on a drone.
แกตอนนี้ดูหน่อยกูไม่
โอ้ my god
Neskin clinging on to life by a thread.
นี่คือ
Canadian bro
ถึงไม่ควร
Forcing him on
ADS เข้าสโคปตอนกูเล่นช็อตกัน
It's been just about a minute,
เอ้า
Harrison.
ไม่ตรงไอ้เหี้ยมันเล็งตรงมาเลยแต่กระสุนไม่ตรง
There's only the Habana on the board. They've got to deal with a Cade, and they only are utilizing pocket EMPs. Maybe Nave could, of course, try to Cade trick if he had both of his Cade claws in his back
กู
pocket.
คิดว่า BDS ชนะว่ะ
Does not seem to be
ไอ้
the
เหี้ย
case. He has one of the primary
ไม่น่างานยาก
most likely on the hatch. But
ทีมต่อ
here's that
เข้าหมด
problem once again. GK
เที่ยประสบการณ์
kind of
ทีม BDS แม่ง
self-stalling.
เท่า
They're
กับ
still droning out this top
แม่ง
floor, expecting
แม่งคือแบบ
someone to be
เหนือกว่าประสบการณ์
But the
ทีม
rest of
ซาอุดิ
Zero have now fallen back down in the base.
เรียบร้อย
Off a sound cue, I would imagine, or some type of info blows up tricks.
จบแล้วเหี้ย
And
ไม่
those
น่า
are your
มีระยะของ
EMPs.
ดาร์ซิโร่เนี่ย
They can't get the hatch or the
แบบ
wall
ส
open.
เต็ป
Double
ร้อยกัน
down,
ทุกตัวเนี่ย
Harrison.
ไม่น่าแพ้กันไฟหรอก
I don't know how we got that C4. Maybe just pure intuition. The second C4 though from Nave misses. And the situation
เฮ้ย
just
มีขึ้นแบบนี้เดี๋ยวไอ้เหี้ยแล้วเขา
from
เฟี้ยว
bad
ไอ้
to
เหี้ย
worse to nigh impossible.
ไม่ขึ้นใน
With
โช
the
ว์ได้ว่า
death
เปิด
of
แฮป
Tricks, Frenchie desperately opening up any of those hatches over towards the backside, towards Archives to try and take this control away from Nafe. Getting hot drone now by Neskin. But do they know about the player? Tucked in towards Sandwich. I believe that's Bolo on the
โอ้ยเหี้ย
castle.
นั่งเนียนเลยไฟเหี้ยคาเทิลนั่งเนียนเลย
เฮียโบโลโบโล
And nasty shot and a
เรียบ
third.
ร้อย
เอา
จี
เอา
จี
เอา
โบโลเก็บ2เลย
Bolo for 3 DZ 7-4.
Oh,
Can they
Bolo.
have a date with either Into the Breach or Furia? GK
Talon
move on to
เริ่มยัง
the
ไงพี่
lower bracket best
ทารอน
of
เริ่ม6:20
โอ้ยตั้ง20 นาทีกูดูอะไรรอดีเนี่ย
Yes, to
นี่ BDS BDS
จบแล้วมันจบแล้วเนี่ยเป็นไฮไลท์แล้ว
that
ล่ะ
they
Just
really,
see.
really struggled with. Both teams
Leaky
showing those typical first game of a big event
โอ้
nerve.
โลแม่งโคตรขี้โกงไอ้
เอ
เหี้ย
อ แล้วแบบโดยเฉพาะแมปแบง
I
ค์อะ
think, you know, this is
โอ้
where
ดูดิ
ก็ไม่ได้เห็นไหม
BD
there you've got Breede, you've got Leaky Fight, they're both running it down, they're doing exactly what they need to do in that moment and they're
เหี้ย
working really
กู
well
ว่า
as
มัน
a
นึกว่าจะ
team.
สูสี
BDS, that'll be them into
เดี๋ยวรอดูทารอน
ทารอนสตรีมไหนวะ
เดี๋ยวกดไปดูมันก็ขึ้นนี่แหละพี่ ไหนว่าทารอน
นี่6:20
upper bracket ลาวันกรุ๊ปสเตท
มันก็
มันน่า
upper
จะ
bracket หมดอะ
มันน่าจะแข่งต่อเลยคือมันไม่น่าตรง6:20 หรอกเพราะว่ามันจบเร็วไง
They knew exactly
But I
what they
can't follow it.
wanted to do against W7M, and I think it just proved that the amount of adaptability when it comes to these best of ones is more important than the preparation that you put beforehand, because W7M was just firing on all cylinders, and when you're getting picks outside of the map before the round even starts, I mean, it doesn't really bode well for the strategy that you came into the map prepared with.
I do want to give props to
Oh, we
Ashen
had beat
though,
code
outside of
my
SSG.
champion.
I feel like
Yeah.
he definitely had a standout
จะมีบุรีรัมย์
performance
ด้วย
as
โค
well.
ตรตึง
บุรีรัมย์อยู่
เกมเนี่ย
ฟรีไฟ
But I do believe waiting
ว่า
on
แล้ว
the
เขาไม่เล่นกัน
sidelines that we
ทีม
had
ไทยได้
loaded
แชมป์
ready and waiting for
ฟรีไฟ
Let's go ahead
อีสปอร์ต
and-
เวิลด์คัพใครได้แชมป์วะ
บุรีรัมย์ไม่ใช่เหรอขึ้นอยู่เมื่อกี้
จริงเหรอ
ที่บุรีรัมย์ยูไนเต็ดเนี่ย
ไม่อันนี้คือทุกทีมเว้ยทุกทีม ว่าแต่ละทีมส่งเกมอะไรมาบ้างอย่างเคซี่และคูนส่ง Overwatch 2 มาปาต้องดูนี่ฟรีไฟเฮียบุรีรัมย์อ๋อไม่แกรนด์ไฟนอลทีมฟ a ลคอนนี่หว่า
เอาบ้านได้เหรออีโวสเดวิลทีมไทยป่าวะ
อีโวสติวายนะ
ไม่รู้ว่ะทีมไทยป่าวะ
ทีมไทย
ทีมไทย
ไม่ใช่ทีมอินโดเฮียไม่เว้ยแต่ว่าทีมไทยได้ที่3นะเว้ยเฮียมึงดูดิน็อกเอาท์กับพอยต์ลัดบุรีรัมย์กูได้ที่1ไอ้สัตว์แกรนด์ไฟนอลแบบแมตช์สุดท้ายได้ที่3ไอ้เฮียมันโคตรเสียดาย
RQ เนี่ยไอ้เหี้ย RQ ทีมไทยป่าวะ
RQ คาซูนะทีมอินโดทีมไทยน่าจะมีแค่นี่แหละ บุรีรัมย์เกมอะไรวะเอเปก
ใครทักอะไรกูมาวะ We can skim
ใครวะ
ได้ทีมทีมสกิมแล้ววะ
สวยอุ้ย
some punch wall on the wall. It's kind of like it's small thing. Give us the first death, and this is what it is. And after we lose the round because we played like 4v5, 3v5.
ไอ้เหี้ยทีม BDS น่าจะดีใจได้มาแข่งที่ซาอุดิช่วงโอลิมปิกไอ้สัตว์
Who your next opponent's going to be is the game between W7 and
เพราะตอนนี้แบบปารีสคือแบบว่ารถติดถนนปิดแบบทุกอย่างเละตุ้มเป๊ะหมดเลยปารีส
Initial reaction to going up against that team, is that the team maybe you thought that you'd be playing?
ดูไปก่อน
Do
เดี๋ยว
you
ไป
think
เยี่ยม
maybe SSG would have been there?
To be honest, they're kind of playing the same way. It's really good player on the both sides. So to be honest, I didn't know who's going to win with SSG and W7M. Maybe I was expecting a bit more SSG because Benja is there, the GOAT. But I guess he said W7M, so we have to face them and get the win.
Leak fact, you guys obviously won out there last year. What's it like being back
This
again
is amazing.
in Riyadh?
Like the place, the hotel, the way where we playing, it's really good. It's one of our like all the team, one of our best events. We love to be in Riyadh and we do everything to take the win again.
Excellent, mate. I'm sure we're going to be hearing plenty more from you over the course of this week. We're going to let you go because obviously you've got another game yet to prepare for, and who knows, we might hear from you a little bit later on. So thanks so much for coming on for the interview. Brilliant. Well, Demo, we have heard it there from LeakyFac himself. A little bit of a slow start, I think, to be expected. Is probably what you could say for that. You know, it wasn't a situation where he was like saying, you know, we were expecting this game to be a walkover. It was exactly the opposite. He knows and he respects. He said every game is difficult at this level. And that's one of the things that you've got to get into your head about Siege at a competitive tier 1 level, is that every game can be the hardest game ever. And if you've got to go 87, you've got to go 87, but you still get it over
win's
the line.
a win. That's always the way we look at it. But obviously, you look at some teams and you think the expectations that they have, you know, a win's a win, but if you actually kind of break it down, it's like that team should be winning a lot better. And I think certainly during the major anyway, there were kind of cases that you could talk about BDS where, yes, they've got the win, but it should be a lot easier than that. And it feels a little bit like that here today. But as EFAC said, it was a slow start from them. They'll admit that it wasn't, you know, at their best, but like we said, a win's a win, and you can only hope then that there'll be that kind of warm-up going into their big game against W7M.
Let's have a look at our next game. We've got plenty coming your way here today. Let's take a look at our schedule, and we can see just exactly where we are going to be rolling. we can see that we have got Talon versus Team Liquid. They are going to be coming up very shortly indeed, Demo. We are going to be sticking to a fixed schedule as well, just to give the players and teams plenty of time to get themselves set up. If we do have a game that runs a little bit quick, or we do have a game that runs a little bit long, we are prepared for that. Who are you fancying in this one, Demo?
I think it's difficult. I look at Talon and you think, yeah, a team which has a lot of, you know, really good talent coming in. They're really starting to click together. But then that team has Fabian. So naturally, I'll say I'll go with Liquid.
I think I'm the same. I will go with Liquid just because Talon has Fabian. Now we do poke a little bit of fun towards Fabian's way, but again, it's another event for him to go there with the team and to see what they can start to build on. Liquid, again, you know, I mean, what do you say about this team? I feel like they got a load of people excited again at Manchester, and then everyone's hearts got broken once again. I was one of them. There was more than just me. There was plenty of people out there, but they're a team that always attract a big crowd. They've got a massive following, and they are doing very well inside of EWC overall as well on whole total point standings across all the games. So there's going to be a little bit of outside pressure as well there for them to perform. We're going to get to that game after this short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.
Ủa biết ạ.
ดีเวเมนดีฟแอคเน่โฟมแดงตัวเทพสูตรเกลือฮิมาลายันมีสลิดไซลิกแอซิดช่วยเคลียร์ปัญหาสิวเนื้อโฟมนุ่มละมุนอ่อนโยนมีเม็ดสครับเย็นสดชื่นถูแล้วเพลินถูแล้วฟินผิวดูใสขึ้นใน7วันดีเวเมนดีฟแอคเน่อยากฟินต้องได้ฟินฟินจนเก็บอาการไม่อยู่
อยากฟินกว่านี้ปะล่ะ
ต้องฟินให้สุดกับช็อกโกเมนทอลมิ้นท์เม็ดอมอารมณ์ช็อกโกแลตอยากฟินต้องได้ฟินช็อกโกเมนทอลจาก Fisherman's Friend ลองเลย
ฟิลิป S1000 นะครับโกนได้ทุกทิศทางไม่ต้องเปลี่ยนใบมีดด้วยมีใบมีดรับคมให้ในตัวนะครับยังทำความสะอาดง่ายเพราะว่ากันน้ำระดับ IPX7 เลยครับชาร์จไฟ1ชั่วโมงเนี่ยสามารถโกนได้นานถึง40นาทีมีรับประกันให้จากฟิลิปถึง2ปีเลย
2, 1, go.
Champion, ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah, I put it all on the line. Definition of divine.
Yeah, I feel like a champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. They told me I wouldn't be nothing. Came on now second to none. I need me a trophy, I need me a ring. I'm not with the bull, but keep it a beam. You know what it is, you know what I mean. Shit, all I do is win, 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 win. Haters wanna hate, they ain't make top 10. Double, triple team, what they need to defend. I juke left and I'm gone with the wind. I'm gone with it.
I feel like a champion. A champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah. I put it all on the line. Definition of divine. I feel like a champion. A champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah. I put it all on the line. Definition of divine.
Feel like a champ, MVP status. Yeah, the win been guaranteed. So let's see about it. If you gon' speak about it, then be about it. If you don't bring that energy, no, I can't be around it. Nah, I'ma shoot my shot. I'ma stick it, watch. At the tippy top, I cannot take no loss. 2 seconds on the clock, they gotta give me the rock. I got a game on what? Yeah, I got a game on lock.
I feel like a champion. A champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah. I put it all on the line. Definition of divine. I feel like a champion. A champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah. I put it all on the line. Definition of divine.
これ終わってから原宿行かない？なんかさ、新しいお店できたみたいで。見た？いや、テレビなんかやったんだよね。可愛いよ、本当に。Little Barbie looks so bad. Check out what you swag. Go with you, get that at. Tell them how I do good. And I never check the tag. What can I spend to rag? You wanna live like that in me and I like you good. I like you good. I like you good. I like you good. Tell them how I do good. I like you good. I like you good. I like you good. Me and I like you good. Stunning. You ain't never seen no trip like that. I got my pretty girl bag from Spain on my brand new bag. They want a girl like me that can be all my age. We wanna get like all that honey, but the stripping free. I just wanna spend, bring me a big bag. Don't care what it costs, I got no limit. Call me Ari, got it, then I got it. Bring my girl, say it got too lit then. Little Barbie looks so bad. Check out what you swag. Go with you, get that at. Tell them how I do good. And I never check the tag. What can I spend to rag? You wanna live like that in me and I like you good. I like you good. I like you good. I like you good. Tell them how I do good. I like you good. I like you good. I like you good. Me and I like you good. ねえねえねえねえ、これ見て。新しく買ったやつ。めちゃくちゃ可愛いじゃん。知ってる？原宿で買ったよ。てか、3000円しかなかったよ。やばくない？原宿。Boy, don't ask me where I'm at. But me and I like you good. I ain't got no time for that. They're shouting I like you good. Little Barbie looks so bad. Check out what you swag. Go with you, get that at. Tell them I like you good. And I never check the tag. What can I spend to rag? You wanna live like that in me and I like you good. I like you good. I like you good. I like you good. Tell them how I do good. I like you good. I like you good. I like you good. Me and I like you good.
The difference between being a player and a coach is quite simple because the hours you spend as a player are a lot more. The stress you're feeling is so much higher because you have to go on stage and compete. As a coach, it's actually quite relaxed, I'll say, because what you do is a lot of the time you just shift responsibility over to the players, like tell them what to do, guide them on their journey, rather than to just fully say, this is how I want it to be done. You kind of have to move things over to them, because if they keep each other responsible, I don't have to. They're making my job for me. In the end, I just turn into a babysitter, which makes my life really, really easy. And all I have to do is basically just teach them step by step how to behave and how to act in a team and create a good team environment. Because I think team environment in esports is so important that if you create a good one, the team runs itself. I don't know if I've had to make a mind shift change. I run the team exactly the same way I did as a captain, like I do as a coach. I don't think there's any difference. Now it's just that instead of being in a player position, I'm in a coach position. To win a major tournament as a player compared
ลืมความยากของเมื่อวานแล้วเริ่มต้นใหม่ไปกับการโกนที่ง่ายดายใบมีดขนาดเล็ก 27 ใบพร้อมรับคมในตัวสนุกเต็มที่ไปกับการใช้ชีวิต Philips S1000 โกนเกลี้ยงทันใจใช้งานง่าย
the culture of the players that you're working with. European players, they have a different mindset than all of the APAC players. In APAC, you kind of just listen and follow and do as you're told, but in Europe, they challenge you. And that's actually something I'm trying to make my players do, which is completely against what they believe in, but they need to challenge me on my ideas. If I bring up a bad idea, don't just accept it because I'm the one saying it. Challenge me, break my ideas apart, and that's how you then build them to understanding their opponents, but also understanding themselves, because they will always continuously look, how can we improve? And if you just listen, you just follow the paper and you do nothing more, and you never get anywhere. And I think we proved in Manchester that we're a team that can learn, because you wouldn't get to the top and play against the best teams in the world like we did. We played seed 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the tournament, and we still beat 2 of them. We wouldn't have done that if they hadn't learned. The language barrier is something that's going to take a long time to overcome. The players, they're learning English. I'm not learning a word of Korean. I'm studying Polish, so it's not going to be another third language for me to study at the same time. So the language barrier is just we have a translator. He does most of the translation for us. Then 3 players, they do speak and understand English, but maybe not to the level of fluency.
Ready, set, go.
You ever wondered how a Hollywood movie is shot? On a Sony. You review it on a Sony. And how do you make that sound epic? You record it on a Sony. Lunch break on a Sony. So why wouldn't you watch it on a Bravia by Sony?
Hello everybody and welcome back to EWC. We are going to be kicking off our second game here today. We've got plenty to get through, demo, so let's get stuck in. We've already seen our first game. We've seen BDS play up against Cruelty, and now we have Talon against Team Liquid. We're running best of ones for the first part of today before we get into our best of threes, which will be elimination games.
It's I think it opens up the door for some of these teams that maybe we wouldn't really be expecting to, you know, win this competition outright, and it gives them the opportunity of maybe some upset. It's just a one-off game where anything can happen, and that's where maybe
นี่อะ Talon Liquid นี่นี่
นี่เหรอ
นี่สตรีมนี่แหละดู
We're
แล
looking toward these underdog teams to throw us a little bit of an upset in some cases. I don't really know if there's an underdog team in this next one, demo. We've got Team Liquid versus Talon. We've got 2 established tier 1 teams. I don't see there being a particular upset. Let's have a quick look at the group and just recap exactly what's gone on. Of course, we've played a game already on the B stream. There's going to be another game that has gone on at the same time
BDS. Oh my
so
god.
we'll be able to see the results for that. We've had BDS successful against Cruelty, and it looks like W7M beat out against Space Station. So Space Station and Cruelty will drop down into that lower bracket. BDS and W7M will advance through into the semi-finals. Let's have a look at the lower bracket as well. See that all filled out nicely. We, of course, do have other games going on as well. There it is confirmed in the Cruelty versus SSG there. That's going to be a best-of-3 game, and it will be coming later on today. Obviously, those two teams now get a little bit of time to go and recompose, get a little bit of food, get a little bit of rest before going into that best-of-3. Because, of course, if they lose that, then they are out. But they will advance through into the semi-finals, or at least one winner will. Let's have a look at the Group B and see exactly what's going on over on the other side of things. Dark Zero successful against GK.
โอ้ยฟูเรียนน่าจะไปเจอกับดาร์ซีโร่แน่นอนสัตว์
โคตรมันอะ
rocking and rolling all coming up soon
คือกูบอกเลยนะถ้าสมมติซาอุดิไม่ได้ล็อกสปอตให้ทีมประเทศตัวเองอะแล้วเพิ่มสปอตให้เอเชียกูคิดว่าอาจจะมันกว่านี้เพราะทีมเอเชียเล่นแบบกูไม่หยุดอ่ะกูไม่รออ่ะ
เปลี่ยนจากกีเคเป็นเคไฟอ่ะน่าจะมันงั้นเรียกเรตติ้ง
กูบอกเลยไอ้เหี้ยคอมเมนเตอร์บอก what the fuck is this team doing
Let's have a look at the Talon roster. Of course, these guys are going up against Team Liquid, led at the helm by Fabian.
นี่ไงมาแล้วยัสมาไอดอลมาแล้วพี่รู้ป่ะมันอายุเท่าไหร่พี่รู้ป่ะมันอายุเท่าไหร่29
This is going to be
เอาเปล่ารีเฟกไวชลาเอาเปล่าเจียวโคตรโหดบอกเลยเฮีย
a lot of
โคตร
potential
สุด
obviously we have to mention the coach in this, and you know, immediately Fabian joins the team.
ไอ้เฮียนี่ตามไอ้เฮียหน้าตาเหมือนเด็กเนิร์ดในซีรีส์เกาหลี
ไอ้เหี้ยนี่หน้าตาเหมือนไอ้เบลเลยสัตว์
for another competition as the first team in Korea. So now he's done it twice. So now you kind of look at it and think, yeah, Fabian has had a massive part to play.
นี่ตัวตึงมาแล้วนี่โคตรตึงไอ้เฮียนี่โคตรตึงไอ้เจล
Really, Ollie, we didn't know a whole lot about until they kind of broke into the scene. You know, I look at a player like Misa, for example. He's been around, you know, the scene for a while, but we never really seen him at events. Always used to be, you know, Fear X, or you know, we're kind of the team that would come in from Korea. So they've really uprooted, you know, the kind of the Korea region had been running for the, you know, the past 2 or 3 years.
Fabian
Experience into this lineup as well, Ollie. You think about, you've got players there, you know, like Roy Boy, like Soldier, for example, that we've seen as well.
เจอลิควิดด้วย
LGBT ด้วยว่ะโลโก้
แหมไหวเฮียไอ้ควยก็เลิกซัพพอร์ตมึงเลย
โอ้ยเกินสตรีมอยู่
สปอร์ต
ให้เขาเทียบกันแม้ว่าผู้ชายจะเดินเข้าห้องน้ำผู้หญิงจะไปยืนเยี่ยวก็ตาม
Obviously Maya being one of the most recent pickups. We've got Lagonis in there as well, and then where would we be without Nesk and Palu here on the side of Liquid? It's only a matter of time until either these guys retire or they lift a trophy. It genuinely is one or the other, and time is certainly ticking. I know there's a lot of fans for Team Liquid out there, and I've been pretty vocal on Liquid and their shortcomings, and I think it comes from a place of love. It comes from being like a diehard fan of this team. But
พี่เขาขอเอาโลโก้อยู่ตรงกลางเหมือนลิควิดได้ป่ะยังเป็นโคตรเท่เลย
แล้วก็ชื่อข้างซ้ายอ่ะ
แล้วแต่แบบไหนก็ได้
Here today, it's a fresh start. It is a fresh tournament for them. And if
ขอป
there's
ก
one
ไม่โคตร
thing
เท่
that this team has a lot of experience with.
เนี่ยแต่ทีมเราไม่มีสปอนเซอร์เลยเศร้าว่ะ
4th of September
เราก็
2021
ติด
he joined. So almost 4 years.
ติดเอง
ติดเองไอ้ไม่ได้ค่าสปอนเซอร์
เราจะติดเหมือนลิควิดว่าเราเอาโลโก้ LGBT มาใส่ครับ
Any guesses how long he's been there?
Oh man, like 7 years.
Of January 2018.
เริ่มยังอ่ะ
It's getting on, isn't it?
รออะไรกัน
Right, we know that we all love
โฆษณา M-Lab อยู่ปะเนี่ยไอ้ผู้เล่นยิง M-Lab ปะเนี่ย
as well. But before I do that, head over to stcplay.gg to get your prediction in.
โอ้กูว่าถ้าเปลี่ยนจาก GK เป็น M80 นี่โคตรมันกูบอกเลย
จริง
แบนคาเฟ่ครับแบบแรก
แบนสกาย
โอเคสกาย
We are going to be rocking a 9-map.
วันนี้คิดนานครับคิดนานแล้ว
กินนาน
ฟาเบียนคุยอยู่เอาไงดีทีมชาเลตปิดจริงจะแล้วบอร์เดอร์ไปแล้วเหลืออะไรเหลือโอลิกอน
แปงโอลิกอนไปเฮ้ยคอนซูเลตเปล่าวะ
คอนซูเลตในเฮเว่น
เฮียคอนซูเลตแน่เลยไอ้เฮียคอนซูเลตเลย
Clubhouse in, we still got Consulate in. It's
เล่น
going
แบบ
to be
เฮียอะไรเนี่ย ทำไมมึงไม่เล่นแบงค์
club, but Liquid they are choosing to
โอ้โหเฮีย
remove
เก่ง
the
แบง
club
ค์
and
เฮีย
instead
เก่งแบงค์หน่อย
take
พี่
us
จีไม่
over
เล่นแบงค์
to
Yeah,
Consulate.
Consulate. This is
แล้ว
a
อะไร
map that
เชียร์เหมือนเดิม
PSG
ดูสแตทคอนซูเลต
number
หน่อย
one.
เผื่อเราได้
PSG
ใช้
อาจจะทีมลิควิดอาจจะโหดคอนซูเลตกับคัมเฮาก็ได้
So kind
ไม่ไป
of
พีช
already you kind of worry in that
ลิควิด
aspect
มันโหด
and whenever
เว
we
ท
know
3 แมปนะก็คือ
Liquid
แบงค์
have
ชาเลต
always kind of been a consulate team, you know, even before the rework. This is always
จำหนึ่ง
kind
แม
of
ป
their
เวท
map.
ไม่ใช่
They
มาโหด 2 แมป
literally
แบงค์ชาเลต
qualified for this tournament. They beat Black Dragon 7-4 to get here. So yeah, I think Liquid are obviously going to be pretty confident. But yeah, like I said, Talon yet to get a win in this.
ลอนไหนมีให้กูโหวตไหม
Well, maybe today is
บทแล้วได้เสื้อได้อะไรป่าวะ มึงมี300ไปบทไปใส่ไป300ไป
ใส่หมดกูใส่หมด
มึงคัสตอมดิเพิ่มกดคัสตอมดิข้างล่างอ่ะพิดิกวิสคัสตอมอ่ะใส่ไปเลย
bad rework. I think the rework is
กูใส่หมด
from like a
แต่
competitive
ก่อนมันมีลีก
standpoint.
ไทยนะเว้ยไม่เคยที่เขาให้ทำแบบนี้แล้วเขาจะมีแจกเมาส์ถ้าแต้มเราครบ100,000อะไรเงี้ยเฮียโคตรดี
แต่
อ่ะ
ว่าแม่ง
โคตรคิดถึงอ่ะ
คือกูอยากให้ลีกไทยกลับมา
แบบแจกแผ่นรองเมาส์ถ้าแต้มในทวิตเรามีสัก 30,000 อะไรเงี้ยสมมตินะแล้วก็แจกแผ่นรองเมาส์อ่ะไอ้ที่เอาไปแลกอ่ะไอ้ที่โคตรดี
จริงทารอนกูจะซื้อเสื้อทารอนแล้วเฮีย
Always a good one to see. Lots of potential for little pocket plays on Consulate though, which is something that I'm a big fan of. Love a little bit of an Amaru. Love a bit of a jump through.
รีบแข่งดีกูจะได้สกิมทัน
Something like that.
I mean,
what do you think?
มาแย่ดูยัดจับจ้องที่ยัดดูนี่
กูชอบที่ยาซารีไทยไปแล้วกลับมาเพราะว่าฟาเบียนเว้ย
kind of slide your way through it, can't you, with a couple of pocket strategies here and there. So I think if they have those kind of pocket strategies where they will just almost sucker punch Liquid, it could be a very good day for Talon. But I think Liquid, they're the team that need to be switched on. You know, I think Liquid need to go in here and take this team extremely seriously. Because they will surprise you. They will collapse it. I mean, this is the same team as well. I'll don't forget that look at what they did in BDS. In the major, who would have thought that?
เนี่ยมันน่าจะมีแบบพี่เคยมึงไปคุยกับบุรีรัมย์ดิเอาบุรีรัมย์
เขาไม่มาเราหรอกเฮียมันต้องเป็นทีมกีฬาเว้ยที่แม่งไอ้นี่ถึงเทคโอเวอร์
เหมือนที่มึงฟรีไฟมึงเห็นไหมน่ะไอ้เหี้ยเขายังมีบุรีรัมย์เลยเดี๋ยวเอ็นโบต้องมีบุรีรัมย์บ้าง
มึงให้ยุบเคไฟให้เข้าบุรีรัมย์เหรอเป็นไรเป็นบุรีรัมย์บุรีเคไฟบุรีเคไฟ
Doesn't work like that. That's not how C
เอาจริงถ้าเอาจริงนะถ้าบุรีรัมย์เข้าจริงอ่ะกูขายเคไฟสปอร์ตให้บุรีรัมย์
See Fabian there? I don't know what he's doing. He's doing
ก็เป็น
something.
อาจจะเป็น BRM.K5 ป่ะ
ไม่เป็น BRM เลย
It was interesting about what Fabian was saying in the interview.
ก็ถ้าบุรีรัมย์มาซื้อเราใช่ปะก็เราก็เป็น BRM เลย
He was talking about the sort of language
มา
barriers
ครับ
that
แบน
these
ตัวอะไร
guys
ครับ
are
ตัวแรก
facing. And the fact that they've got
แชทจะแบนอะไรแชทตัวแรกแชท
sort of
แชทครับแชท
sounded like a
โอ้ยแสดงว่าเขาศึกษากันบ้านนะครับ แบบนี้โซวัตกูตกงานเลย
โซวัตก็ตกงานแป๊บนึงทำไมขวาบนมันเป็นไอ้นี่วะขวาบนมันเป็นมันเป็นคอนโทรลเลอร์วะ
ว่ะเหี้ยว่ะมันจะได้บังคับง่ายๆมั้งไม่ได้สมมติไง
น่าจะ
แบนทวิตว่ะ
Sometimes, you know, we common
Beat
English
Beat
only to our mates, and even
มาสุดไหนครับ
sometimes we struggle
จั
to
งหวะ
get the
นี้
information out, so you can only imagine what it's like, you know, having to relay that
โอ้โห
from your
สูตรไหน
language
อ่ะ
into English, and yeah, a whole big, you know, pile of issues that can come from that.
แม่ง
But
ก็น่าคิดเหมือนกันนะว่ามันจะเล่น
things
สูตร
been
ไหนกัน
working
นะ
for them, you know,
จริง
so far as what we've seen, you know, the rise of this team
Talon
has been
เป็นไร
monumental, and you know,
Echo
let's see if they can get over a big hurdle
เข
here.
ตว่ะก็ make sense ก็ make sense ถ้าลอนดูแบนปกตินะลิควิดอะดูแบนแปลก
and a Twitch removed as the attacker
ได้เล่น
bounce.
มิล่าหรือเปล่าในแบนด์มิด
Goyo and a
ไม่แน่
K gone for the defenders.
ไม่รู้ว่ะ
That's a I don't
มา
know.
เปิดมาเบสเมนต์เลยครับ
Have
โอ้
you
โห
ever
ดู
seen that
ดูแต่ละตัวของ
combination?
ทารอน
Honestly, the Blitz is, really, really good for top floor, really good for mid floor. I mean, Blitz in a very
ตัวแบบกูพร้อมบวกอ่ะ
tight map.
ดูจากการเล่นแล้ว
You know that he is, close for king in that aspect. Yeah, you look at the
มี
Twitch
ไม่มี
and the Goyo
ตัวเฮียอะไรเนี่ย
ไอ้เหี้ยถ้าเคไฟไปแข่งเราต้องเอาตุ๊กตาอะไรไปหรือวะตุ๊กตาควายไป
and then Bancade. They
ตุ๊กตาควายแล้วก็ธงชาติไทย
kind of counter out each other. Very similar to what we had with Twitch and Goyo. They ban Twitch and then ban Goyo. Whereas surely if Twitch is off the board, Goyo just becomes infinitely stronger. But then Goyo's off the board anyway.
เอาเฮียนั่งตรงข้ามกันเลยนี่หว่า
Yeah, it doesn't always have to make sense, but I always like to look at the bans and think, have I ever
ไหน
seen that
ดูซิเล่น
combination
ยังไง
of
กัน
bans before in all the games
อันดับ
I've
หนึ่ง
ever
โค
watched?
เรีย
I think I have.
โอ้โหแม่งอยู่ข้างบนกันเกือบหมดเลยปะเนี่ย
See how it affects this consulate. Something we didn't see on Bank.
เฮ้ย
ไม่เล่น
ไม่รีบโฟร์ไซด์
About it earlier, as soon
เป็น
as
ดี
we
กำลังไป
saw
เป็นดีกำลังไป
Consulate
เป็นดีกำลังไป
We didn't see any Grim play. Now Grim's been 6
Big
picks
side
off
เปล่า
Maya has chosen to go for the Ram instead, and it makes sense. We're attacking downstairs, so the Grim isn't going to be as valuable as a Ram to rip open that floor. But it is something that you will likely see on Consulate at some point. Defending downstairs then, inside the garage. Got a little bit of bandit action going on here. Nice little mini game to try and navigate there for Team Liquid. And
ตอนนี้จะยังไงครับ
recognizing that is going to go, well, it's a top floor
Yeah.
take. We need to take control. We need to rip that floor open. We need to remove bandit from being able to sit there.
Moment for Liquid and
ตกลงมาแล้วครับ
wanted to go about their attacking setup.
มีตัวอยู่ข้างบนนั่นน่ะ
They've got a bit of everything. Good mix. Obviously, the idea is to get in and open up that flooring.
อ้าวเรียบร้อยเผาลูกเก็บมือ
Mention about how strong Dokubi can be in a map like Consulate. Where if there's
เฮ้ย
เรียบร้อย
ไอ้เฮียลิควิดไม่ถูกความเก่าเกมอ่ะ
Because it's almost like a Hollow Mirrors, where you go one way and the other guy appears around the backside. It's very difficult, and having the Dokubi is just going to be there to control that and give you a lot of information. But Liquid have obviously started off well with a really good start. 2 opening picks. There's the Dokubi call. Doesn't look as though anyone's near Ryder though, so he's fine where he is. A little hole in towards Ellers, of course. A C4. You always have to be kind of careful of, of course. Whenever it comes to this basement is as much as what you would like to open up the flooring, you have to be careful.
ทำไมมืดจังวะ
Open up you from below and
เฮ้ย
the engagement Ryder. Up against resets, a bit of damage being done towards resets.
หลง
สวยรีเซ็ตไรเดอร์เก็บได้หนึ่ง
Maybe retake upstairs Ollie and just create more
เก็บเลยนะจอยได้ครับ
โดนแตกนั่นน่ะ
Not wasting any time there at all. Now there's Lagonis. He's going to be able to get that wall
เจอ
open.
ผู้เล่นอายุ29กูนั่งต้องจอเดี๋ยวเอาไอ้สัตว์เฮียนี่มาเตรียมเลยพะโล้พะโล้
อ้าวเรียบร้อยไอ้เฮียเล่นลาวาโซเจอร์เรียบร้อย
Lagonis
โดนในยัดครับ
keep on
โอ้
going.
ไม่ก็
ไอ้เฮีย
He's going to pick up that
รีแอคชั่นทำอย่างช้าไอ้เฮียช้ากว่ากูอีก
getting fired up there already inside of round number 1.
Bit weird to finish off the round there. I was really expecting to see almost a double retake from Talon. You obviously had Misa, who could have came up in through Spiral supporting Ryder in that, or not Misa, sorry, I think it was Yas actually. Being able to push up in towards Spiral alongside Ryder, who was looking to take control off that mid floor, and then you almost could have retake, with the, with the verticals that could have been opened. But I think maybe they were more scared knowing that somebody was actually lurking on the Dokubi coming in from the backstab, and that's what they tried to go for.
ถ้ามึงอยากได้พอยต์ไปลง VS ดี
caught out in the rotation.
จริง
Yeah, Ryder, wrong place, wrong time, really.
เอาแล้วพอสหรือเปล่าวะนานจังอะ
Good pressure from Liquid.
อ๋อไม่ใช่
And nice to see attacks winning rounds straight off the rip. I feel like we almost fell a little bit into that. Oh, Siege is a really difficult, game to attack.
เฮ้ยทางซ้ายไม่เป็นไม้หมดเลยนี่หว่า
Because of how difficult attack BDS had on it.
นี่ก็ดีนายแผ่นได้สบายเลยเกมนี้
They've come out swinging.
Yeah, I mean BDS just, get your stuff together, lads. Come on. Look how easy it is for Liquid.
ทำไมคอมเมนเตเตอร์ต่างประเทศเวลาคอมเมนต์แม่งไม่มันเลยวะคอมเมนเตเตอร์ไทยอย่างวอนอย่างอะไรยังคอมเมนต์มันกว่าอันนี้ไม่ได้อวยแต่ว่าแบบไม่จริงๆอ่ะ
I think Dokubi is an extremely strong operator. I think on a map like Consulate where it is very close quarters.
กูอยากเห็นฟาเบียนตะโกนใส่ที
over the corners and layout of the map.
เดี๋ยวนะ
เขาไม่ได้เล่น queen on this, so
ต้องรอแพ้ก่อน
from both sides as well. It's always an operator that I don't
กูเห็น
mind
แบบ
banning. I think
กู
it's
ดู
a
แข่ง
great
อะไอ้เหี้ย
strategy because it just
แม่งไอ้เหี้ยนั่นยิงแม่งแบบโคตรคมอะไอ้เหี้ยคอมเมนต์แม่งแบบไอ้นักพากย์ไม่ตกใจอะไรเลยแบบแม่งเฉยๆอะไอ้เหี้ยนี่คือมันแถบโคตรคมไม่ใช่นักพากย์แม่งแบบโอเคก่อนวันก็เฉยๆแบบไม่รู้สึกเหี้ยหรือมันดูแข่งไม่เป็นไอ้เหี้ยนักพากย์
คือแบบ
เจอจนผิดแล้วมันเจอจนผิดแล้ว
ไม่แต่ว่าแบบมึงเจอจนชินยังไงเวลามึงเจอแบบนั้นมึงก็ต้องแบบว้าวนิดนึงมึงเป็นนักพากย์นะเว้ย
ไอ้เหี้ยมึงยิงแบบวันแถบแม่งโคตรโหดอะนักแข่งก็แบบไม่ตกใจอะไรเลยแม่งโคตรคมอะ
แบบถ้ามึงดูของไทยคือแบบโอ้โหเหี้ยอะไรครับเนี่ยมึงเก็ตความหมายไหมไอ้เหี้ยนักพากย์แบบนักพากย์
มึงได้ดูมึงต้องว้าวไอ้เบลเชื่อกูแต่นักพากย์แบบ no reaction อะแบบโอเคแบบว่าเงียบเลยเฮียแบบไม่พูดที่อะไรต่อ
มันจะว้าแค่ตอนยิงเยอะ
แตกหมดไอ้เหี้ยทีมลิควิด ไอ้ทารอนดีเฮียแตกหมดเลยเฮีย
Still one in the house.
เรียบร้อยไอ้สัตว์
But another Dokubi call coming through. It is just relentless from Liquid. Not only are they quick at getting in and getting the kills, but they are using that utility and really tightening the net on Talon very early on.
มีป่าวะ
It's gonna be a very difficult retake.
7-5
As we know,
ให้สกอร์เลย
for Talon, you have a Monty you have to contend with.
นี่คือชนะ7
Who hasn't actually went for the plant just
Okay,
yet.
Radu.
I think they're more worried about trying to get control of the corners before they just try and walk in and go for the plant. And yeah, this should be quite easy for them just to get in and get that plant down. And maybe so this is a very easy shot.
ห่างกันเพียงว่ามือว่า โอเคสวย
But still, Misa
มันเป็นโล่ไอ้เหี้ย
โอ้ย
very swiftly traded off as we see. You know, a pretty unwinnable position for Misa that time around, but. A lovely bit of tempo there as well from Liquid. They hit the top floor fast, and then they just slow it down and do their second round.
เนี่ยฟาเบียนมาแล้วไอ้เหี้ยพวกมึงเล่นนี่อะไรกันถ้าฟาเบียนเป็นคนไทยนะกูบอกเลย
Great patience from Liquid are playing this extremely well at the moment.
It's never just an opening pick either. It's an opening few. They're just flooding in with those kills, and it's, as you say, it's that aggressive lineup that they're bringing. They're bringing the Deimos, they're bringing the Dokubi, they've got the Grim. Liquid are very good in this meta at putting the defenders where they want them, finding out where they are and then manipulating them and really squeezing them. The pressure that they're applying already in these opening couple of rounds is fantastic. And
โอ้ยคนที่ควิดยืนดูชิลจัดอะ
ชิลจัดอะแบบ
ชิล
เจอทีมเฮียอะไรเนี่ย
Spawn peak. They need to try and show a bit of
แบบ
aggression.
ชิลมันควรจะมั่นใจว่ามันจะชนะ
For the top floor and mid.
ถ้าเราหน่อยดิแก้เกมดิฟาเบียนยืนอยู่แก้เกมให้ลูกทีมมึงที่ลูกทีมมึงจะแพ้เนี่ย
แพ้แบบไม่ได้แพ้แบบยากเลยนะไม่ได้แบบช็อตที่ทารอนโดนมันเป็นช็อตแบบโดนเผลอหมดเลยอะยิงไม่โดนมีฟัน
drop a skylight or jump in a window until about a minute 30 because it is very difficult to deal with if you know even dropping in towards yellow skylight there could be a guy sat in connector with a shotgun you don't want to drop
สัตว์
into
เฮีย
that
นี่มาทรงเดียวเหมือน ADT เลยเฮียเล่นแต่ชั้นหนึ่ง
burns a lot of time
ยังไม่เล่นชั้นสองเลยเฮีย
straight away
เบลมึงรู้ว่ากูดู ADT ก่อนหน้าที่พี่ก่อนหน้าที่มาเล่นคาเฟ่อะแม่งเล่น6 ราวอะมันไม่เล่นชั้น3เลยสักราวด่านคาเฟ่เล่นแต่ชั้น2
แม่งเล่นแต่แบบ kitchen mining แล้วก็ leading อ่ะ
เล่นแค่เนี้ยมันไม่ได้ชั้น3เลย
ชั้น 3มันรับแทน
เดี๋ยวกูจะไม่เล่นชั้น3มันละไอ้เหี้ย
น่าจะเป็นไซยิ่ง
I
โง่
mean, the
ที่สุ
speed
ด
that they've been moving at. They've had that
ดูครับคนดู
opportunity.
29ครับโคซิง
How much Yas doesn't want to be out there on their own. One Dokubi call.
แก่กว่าฟาเบียนบอกว่าไอ้เหี้ยยานเนี่ย
แกกว่า
But he's not taking a gunfight.
เดี๋ยวไอ้ฟาเบียนด่าไปรู้สึกผิดเลยเอา
But he knows that it's not just one player from Liquid that's clearing this top floor, it's multiple. There's drones going at the feet. They've got 2 players chasing those drones down. It's not a fight you want to take as a soul Jaeger.
All quiet at the moment. Liquid are just setting up.
ไอ้เหี้ยถ้า Liquid แม่งจ้างแคสเตอร์นะกูเป็นแคสเตอร์ให้
ไหนมึงลองภาษาอังกฤษดิภาษาอังกฤษดิภาษาอังกฤษดิ
Right now they're pushing every corner right now. Let's see, Team Liquid is playing it very, very slow.
Hey, bro.
They're dropping down to second floor now. Would Team Talon be able to pull this back from 2-0? Very much reinforced, playing very slow from the Liquid side. ไอ้เหี้ยแต่เกมแม่งช้าจริงก็กูเป็นคอมเมนเตอร์กูง่วงเหมือนกันอะ
So overall, I think Liquid
มันทำอะไรกันวะ Liquid พยายามจะทำอะไรวะ
still waiting to see, you know, the
ละเอียดเกิน
that, you know, that Fabi was mentioning, or maybe they're keeping them for
ตายแน่โดน C4 แน่
They are on the defense, and don't forget, Ollie, this is a defender-sided map.
มันคงไม่ปล่อยให้ดีนะแพ้ง่ายๆนะ
มันเป็นแผนหรือเปล่าแบบ2แมตช์แรกปล่อยให้มันชนะไป
ถ้าเป็นกูก็จะเข้าตีบอกไปตีข้างล่างมอนตี้ลงข้างล่างเลย
มอนตี้ลงเยลโล่อะ
โอ้โหยังไม่อยู่ข้างล่างกัน5ตัวเลยเฮีย
เรียบร้อยแตกหมด
โดนตัดโดนขุดหัวไล่
อ้าวเรียบร้อยเล่นกองอยู่นั่นแหละยัส
Liquid fantastic at this 3-2-1 as soon as they decide to execute as soon as they press that go button
เดี๋ยวมันหายหมดเลยเมื่อกี้2วิที่แล้วมันยังมี5คนอยู่เลย
ก็มันเป็นคนเล่นละเอียดอะมันรู้อินโฟหมดแล้ว
knows where the Deimos is but he's getting pinched from both sides Nest comes in to collect 3 masterclass rounds there from Liquid.
The beautiful game right before our eyes. This is Brazil. This is Brazilian Siege. This is the type of Siege that I just love watching. You know, Brazil are obviously the kings that play in this way, where everyone's set up in a position, and it's just a 3-2-1. Everyone pushes in at the same time, and just the kills come in, and it's beautiful to watch.
Oh, yeah, that's been a great
job at the moment. Looks as though we've had the timeout. I believe that's going to be on the side of Talon. Fabian needs to get in there, but obviously it gives Hugsord a chance to get in there as well and have a chat. So it does work both ways. We know about that.
I think from Liquid side of things, it's just going to be more of the same. Keep your heads. You've had a good start. Don't get carried away. But from the Talon side of things, Fabian really just try and hype up these players right now. Let's see if the timeout was enough. Typically, we say a timeout's good for a round. Teams should be able to recompose and find a round after a timeout. There's some glaring problems. Obviously, the big problem at the minute is that Liquid are seemingly everywhere at once, and once they've gathered their information and they go for that execute, very often the kills are just flooding in Liquid's favor. And it's a combination of a few things. It's a combination of don't have that gun skill, but also the positioning. Liquid, as I've mentioned, they do such a good job of corralling and shepherding these defenders into positions where they can then just execute. And that's what we've seen in the past 3 rounds.
5 seconds left before
Talon need to find some successes here because I'm not sure if their attacks are going to go the same way.
I think it's very difficult attacking Consulate, as we know, and especially having to attack Consulate, where you know you've already dropped a lot of defensive rounds. You know, already 3 rounds being lost by Talon. You're already, you know, not in great shape going forward. So Talon, honestly, I think they need to get these next 3 defenses. They need to, or I just don't see them getting back into the game. I think they'll be too far gone. It is the basement. You see an attempted bandit trick come in, but yeah, that's not going to be any good for Soldier. This is his timing, and that's step 1 done for Liquid. And, you know, look how early, Ollie, they've got that wall open already. 30 seconds gone, wall open, job done. We've cast it countless teams. Not even open that wall. They've struggled opening the wall.
Especially when they've got a bandit. Bandit should be, it's free tricking for a time, you know, until the pressure starts to come in on that top floor. Until you're given a reason to move.
Incredible.
Very good at seeing opportunities and taking them straight away.
Another
resets again, comes in with that opening pick. A second come in there as well. Nesk, who's moving through aggressively. Just got a nice glimpse of a player there pushing down those stairs. Lion scan comes in, trying to root that player in place, just seeing if he's still there at the bottom, triggering that goose.
เรียบร้อยไหลหมดไซเล่นอย่างง่ายกูบอกเล่นง่ายมากอ่ะคือลิควิดคือเหมือนแบบลิควิดทำให้อีกทีมนึงเป็นน้ำเลยอ่ะ
Unbelievable
ฟอร์มแชมป์ปะเนี่ย
decimating Talon
เชี่ย
decimating them
ดอมิเนตจัดอ่ะคือแบบฟอร์มแบบทารอนแม่งแบบไม่มีเลยอ่ะ
They're already dead.
Very well could be but
ว่าไอ้เหี้ยทารอนมันน่าจะเป็น the best ใน C นะใน A-PAC นะเหี้ยไปเจอลิควิดโอ้โหเหี้ยมันยังมีโหดกว่านี้อีกเหรอวะ
You know, BDS started off extremely well, and then that round was where they kind of like slipped up almost. Liquid just getting stronger and stronger every round now. You know, this is
อยาก
how
ไป
you
อยู่บราซิล
lay
สัก
down the
2 เดือนแบบ
market.
นี้
This
เถ
is
อะ
how you make a
กลับ
statement.
มากูเป็นเทพเจ้าอ่ะ
My God, they are extremely potent today now, and again, just the pacing is perfect. The way that they're just 3-2-1ing, using the Lion scans,
แบบน่าไปอยู่บราซิลสัก 2 เดือนเลย3 เดือนเลยเหี้ยสกิมแม่งทุกวัน
จริง
I honestly don't know.
เหี้ยกลับมาสีน่าจะไม่มีใครหยุดเราอยู่อ่ะ
You must feel so claustrophobic. There's nowhere safe to sit.
วิธีการมานั่งแอบ
Golden scan every 2 seconds. Like, what do you do?
กูว่าสแตทมันก็ไม่ค่อยเวอร์นะ
It really is a terrible
ของ
place
ทา
to
รอน
be. The thing is, what do you do?
ยังไง
Because
ครับยังไง
if you're watching this
มึง
and you
ส
think
แปมมอนตี้ทุกราวเลยเหี้ยมึงโซวัตปะเนี่ย
how do we try and
ตา
counter
ตัวนี้
this? What do you ban? Do you ban the dog or do you ban the lion?
กูว่าใช่แน่เลยสวอตไปแข่งปะเนี่ยเหี้ย
And then
โซวัตจริงๆไม่ได้ไปยิมนะไปแข่ง
shield as well.
โอ้โหไอสัตว์สแปมมอนตี้ทุกราวเลยเหี้ย
Strongest things in the meta.
เนี่ยไอเล่นกิมเนี่ยพีเคอร์แน่นอนแม่งเล่นแต่กิม
You know, anyone can pick this lineup, but just because you pick the lineup doesn't make it work. You've still got to know how to play it
I
and make
wonder
it
if,
work.
I mean, to be fair,
โอ้ยเสียดายแทนบีสโค้ดเลยว่ะ
Lion
เหี้ย
with Liquid was the one thing that Fabian couldn't get past in his career. Don't forget about that. That's the one
Yeah,
thing
ยังไงครับ
I remember
เข้า
that.
ชั้น
that
หนึ่ง
seems to be happening
เขามี
again.
สูตรแล้ว
even
เขา
when
ห
it
รือเปล่า
comes to the Lion and Dokkaebi, Fabian's not going to have any answers for that.
เไอ้ทุกราวแม่งจะมีแต่ไลออนกับดองเคบีเนี่ยได้มัน
Look towards
เป็น
round
คอมโบ
number
กันเปล่าวะ
5. For Liquid again, it's
ก็
just
น่าจะใช่
getting into the building
คอมโบ
early
ลีก
on.
บรา
It's
ซิล
just
อะไร
that
เงี้ยไอ้เหี้ย
initial first
ลอง
minute
เล่นบ้างไหม
has
เอารอ
done
ลอง
minute for Coastline feels a big make or
คอม
break
โบไลออน
for a lot of teams. If you give away the opening pick within a minute, you struggle when trying to get the attack. But the fact that Liquid are not giving the opening picks away, they're getting themselves in positions that they want. This time they're going to go
เอา
for
ที่มหาเทพยัด
down
กู
picks,
0-4
so they're trying to
ชิบ
get
หาย
in
ละ
for Piano and use the butt skeleton key to root out anyone who could be playing inside a CEO.
I'd like to see Talon play a little bit more aggressively, honest. I'd like to see him hit a little spawn peak or just hit a bit of something.
ไปแล้วครับดรอปไปแล้ว
They
ไม่
are
ดี
just
รอ
giving
ให้
so
ยัง
much
นั้น
respect
กู
over
เป็น
the
โล่
at the
มันไม่มี
moment.
ทางยิงกูตาย
Look at this, Lagonis, he's just hopped straight down.
สวัสดีครับ
He's pushed all the way in. He's already through connector. He now knows that he's relatively safe as well because there'll be a player on the skylight. Vulcan canister's going to come out, so that's going to stop people from pushing on through.
นี่กูว่ามันโดดหน้าต่างเขาแพนเฮ้ยแบบนี้
กูว่าโดดหน้าต่างเข้าแทนแน่นอน
สูตรนี้
There's
กูว่าเวิร์ก
information out there.
เฮ้ยแต่มันมีไฟแทน9อ่ะ
Oh, Vulcan, Tachanka. Yep.
Oh, so
I can't blame you. I mean, we're seeing Tachanka being brought in, and
ใช้ไฟเปลืองถ้าไฟมันหมดทำไง
I
เนี่ย
see
เนี่ย
fire on the defense and think Vulcan,
I'm
he
seeing the play
forgets
confusion
Janka.
right now on my screen. Ollie, you've got the bees, you've got the fire coming in, the Monty, I suppose, was he there? I don't know. Paul
เฮ้ย
Lou
โก for kill โก for kill โอ้โหพี่
However,
ตัว
Maya has lost that crucial engagement, and hopefully now maybe Talon can have a bit of bite back.
ชนะได้นะเนี่ย
เกี่ยวกับพี่แพนได้
ถ้า
เนี่ย
ทาร
ว่า
อนเล่นดีๆชนะได้นะเนี่ย
Misa, oh, barely misses out on that long angle kill.
ว่าให้คนนึงเก็บดิฟิวแพนได้สวยสวยจัดสวยจัดสวยจัดอุ้ยเหี้ยอะไรได้อยู่
น่าจะแพ้ว่ะทารอน
เฮ้ยไอ้นี่ไปแบงค์แน่นอน แต่ไม่เป็นไรเรามีกล้องกันแบงค์
เฮีย2-1ว่ะ
Lagonis gives himself away. It's 3 kills on the round for Rumatic. All Lagonis had to do was extend the shield and stay alive.
ไม่มีกล้องกันแบงค์
Not sure if he got killed vertically
มี
or not.
รู้แล้ว
เรียบร้อยยาส
Yes, there on that flank.
เฮ้ยเฮียลิควิดเล่นดีแล้วเดินพลาด
เฮียลิ
เดียว
ควิดเล่นดีมากอะ
Unforgivable for Lagonis there.
เลยลิควิดมึงเล่นโคตรดีเฮีย
He was the player below potentially. Great retake.
แต่ว่ากูเมื่อกี้มันหามิงน่าจะเฮียไปหน่อย
As soon as Lagonis got himself into connector and got flamed out by the Tachanka, as you rightfully identified, it kind of just started to slow down a little bit for Liquid there.
There's a few things. I think the important kill was certainly the Grim swinging in through the window and then missed his shots on the player inside a meeting. You know, if that kill swings into Liquid, then not only do you have an extra man in the bomb site being able to cover the Monty as he goes for the plant, but then obviously you still have that aspect of, oh, you can just look straight down, you know, hold those angles. I mean, the only thing is, if you're going for that play, and you're already going for the effort of going below, using the buck, so you have a player downstairs, you can't get C4'd or people can retake on you. Why does your Grim not just take the diffuser and plant in the window? Why is that not happened, by the way?
Well, was it Nesk? Yeah. No, it was Palu. Palu was the one that maybe kind of ego challenged a little bit. Liquid, they've absolutely rolled Talon in every aspect of this game. Strats, gun skill.
แต่ต้องดู attack อ่ะ คือเผลอๆถ้าสมมติ form attack ของทารอนแม่งดีอ่ะแม่งคัมแบ็กได้อยู่นะ
There is not a thing you can do to stop that. Obviously, yes, I know Tachanka is there, but you can just stall out the Tachankas. They just have an unlimited amount of that.
Liquid still with a round to go on the attack here. I'm going to see the tin openers used here by Resets. He's going to be playing on the Amari. And get rid of that utility before hopefully flies into a window and gives us a really flashy display, but that isn't always what happens. Haven't got the Lion this time, so that ability to really start to funnel Talon is a little bit weird. Straight in there and straight out again. Maya.
ยิงไม่โดนเลยสักนัดเลยเฮีย
โดนนัดโอ้โห
Took a couple of points of damage and left himself on 3 HP. Well, that's a good bite from Talon.
ทำไมแม่งไม่มีคนโฮอีกฝั่งหนึ่งเลยวะทารอนอ่ะเหมือนพอมันมีตัวเข้าตรงนึงทารอนคือปล่อยซ้ายอีกฝั่งนึงมากเลยเท่าที่กูสังเกตนะ
Oh, Ryder just had won that engagement, but nope. Just about by the skin of his teeth. Resets takes 2 with him. And yeah, that's really opened up the round now for Liquid and Talon. They lost that top floor control.
เห็นป่าวะไปแล้วกูไม่เด้งละแฮกกล้องก่อน
The side of Liquid, so Reset still has a part to play. He can get into those Valkyrie cameras and can give a lot of information over to his side. And if one of these Valkyrie cameras is actually inside of the bomb site, Ollie, then Liquid will see it just absolutely free and nobody's actually in the site and they can maybe just drop it and go for the plant. However, Liquid should be aware of previous rounds that Talon want to play below and use the C4s.
Unfortunately for Talon, whilst that might be in the back of Liquid's mind, they don't have any C4s. So it is
เรียบร้อยโซลเจอร์เรียบร้อย
Soldier down. Yes, immediately there with the trade. Dodges out on the nade. Down to Lagonis and Palu to make something happen. The plan is going to be attempted here.
Yes!
Even better.
ตัวท้ายแผ่น
Push him around the corner. Lagonis
ยังไงโซนคันหรือเปล่าจังหวะนี้ลุมเยสตัวนิ่งล้ม
อุ้ยไอ้เหี้ยไอ้เหี้ย
เกือบไล่สัตว์
task. But he did give Liquid a glimmer of hope.
Oh, that was so close. I mean, he had the 180 swivel. Not just once.
กูพูดตรงนะยาสด้วยอายุของยาสเป็นพ่อกูได้เลยนะ
kills Yas because he's that low HP. He doesn't get the down animation. He just dies. But then sadly couldn't swivel quick enough.
แบบคนแก่
Other melee onto the Valkyrie. See there.
โอ้ถ้ามันตุ้มไปตัวนี้ได้
แล้วถ้าแม่งหันกลับไปทันนะกูบอกเลย
So yeah, very difficult to do. A great attempt though. But Talon, I mean, the retake there was great. I like the fact that both of them doubled up.
4-2 เฮ้ยมีแววอยู่นะเว้ยมีแววคัมแบ็กอยู่นะเว้ย
Monty doesn't really have a gun that's going to stop him. So they double up and try to target the other player. They target that Deimos and they were able to kill him out. And then from there, you leave yourself in the 1v2. And it's very easy just to kill the Monty. You know, it was very difficult for that Monty to win that.
ซัมบลัสซ่อมเหี้ยแล้วเนี่ย
Again, it comes down to Lagonis and Palu to try and make something happen. Not able to do so. Talon, since the timeout, they've picked themselves up a couple of rounds and things are starting to look up a little bit, considering that this is a defender-sided map. There is a need and a requirement to pick up a couple of rounds on the defense. But a lot now rests on the attacks from Talon. They need to be clean. Because whilst we've said that Liquid are decent on the attack, they're also very good on the defense. And they can be a bit of a nightmare. Especially when you look at what's available. They've got some Team Liquid classics in there. Demo, I look at the Valkyrie and I think, Valkyrie on Consulate available? Are you mad?
Mate, I could be mad. I don't know. I mean, look, obviously Valkyrie is, you know, two of our last game it was banned out. You know, Valkyrie still, I think since release has always been a strong operator. You know, has always really stayed A tier in my opinion. Probably would have been S tier whenever you look back and think that you used to be able to throw cameras outside Ollie, which looking back at it you think, yeah, how did we get away with that for so long? But again, Valkyrie in a great position as we know. I think the C4 combination with the information is always going to be a great combo to bring in.
ไหนดูซิ
So yeah.
ดูแข่งต่อละ
Overall, right now for Talon, they will try and deny that information. Obviously, IQ and Doku going to be brought in there to do so.
อากิติเป
Opening pick. This time it's on the defense for Liquid that they will find that kill.
เฮ้ยเหี้ยอะไรเนี่ยมุมเหี้ยอะไรเนี่ย
Romatic has found a vertical angle on the Lagonis and they're actually trying to go in here and go straight for that Valkyrie inside of Piano with C4 being tossed out. Oh, connects!
Oh my god.
Romatic was not expecting that one. Oh,
oh my god.
Eagle as well. Surely not.
เกมจัดเฮ้ย
You can't have him a flashbang.
ถ้ามึงได้ตัวนี้
Moves the other side of the room and
โอ้โห
eventually goes
กลับ
down from Misa.
เอาสุดท้าย 2-1 ลิควิดกลับมาเป็นรองเฉย ไม่ใช่พารูตัดใน3ลิควิดกลับมาเป็นรอง 1-1 เอ้าไอ้เหี้ยนั่นโดดออกหน้าต่างไปแบบไม่สนใจเพื่อน ขึ้นเยลโล่ครับมีอินโฟหรือเปล่าโอเครู้
วิ่งกลับวิ่งไป
กูหลอกให้จริงกูขึ้นเยลโล่กูลงไปขึ้นไปเล่าใหม่กูหลอก
Drone retrieved.
เฮ้ย
It's going to
ขึ้น
give
ไปเล่า
Misa
จริงว่ะ
something to play off a little bit later on. 45 seconds, still got a bit of time.
ขึ้นวีซ่า
ไม่ขึ้นเพิ่มบอกว่าขึ้นอีกทีนึงขึ้นในทัน
Made that rotation through. Didn't check for the
พาโดนไปหาอินโฟหน่อย
downstairs, but I imagine it has gone. Although Visa Office does still show up, so there's potentially a bit of info here along with that yellow ping.
แอบโดนเนียนจัดไอสัตว์ได้ยินเสียงโดนแล้วมันค่อยๆหลบมึงเห็นแล้ว
Sight is going to get droned. Maya
โค
caught
ตรดี
out. Default still alive there, and it will
เรียบร้อย
challenge Misa. That's
อู้แต่
surprising.
เกือบไปนะไอ้เหี้ย
เกือบ
ให้ 3แต่ลิควิดสุดท้ายกลับมาเป็นรองเฉย
1v2 we know Ollie it's not the easiest of things
ใครมันไหลไซด์ยิงวะเมื่อกี้
but certainly still makes it happen but obviously you have to highlight Polu like you really do the C4 over the top and then the deagle on the ass and then all credit to Maya I think he really picked his moment well especially that kill on the soldier
โหยาโซเกอร์กับไรเดอร์เล่นไม่ออกเลย
we're going to expect
จริง
you know Maya to leave the site as the only player you know leave site completely empty and try and snag a quick kill but it worked out for him he plays that surprise game and then just has to clutch up and win that 1v1 so Liquid they get the first defense on the board now they lead 5 rounds to 2 more to go for Liquid and they'll close it out
That clutch is going to feel pretty good for Liquid. I think especially after a couple of the clutches earlier on didn't go their way. It's one that you're going to look to and go, yeah, we needed that one.
5 seconds remaining.
1 round away from a match point.
โอ้ยจะ2-5แล้วว่ะยังนึกว่าจะสูสี
For all the aggression that they showed in the opening part of round number 7, they weren't able to carry it out, and that's why we get so excited when Liquid do it. When Liquid show us that brilliant 3-2-1, and it's aggression, but it's not in the early part of the round. It's very calculated. Talon, they chose to do it in the early part of the round. They felt like they had enough information, and they did. They had enough information to get it to a 2 versus 1, but very quickly they gave that man count away. It really isn't too easy at all. It's quite the large extension here as well, Demo. There's a lot for Talon to go ahead and
อยู่ชั้น
try and
2
clear out right
ตัว
now.
อยู่ชั้น1ตัวหนึ่งก็อยู่ชั้น1 2ตัวในไซต์ตัวเดียว
plenty of them
ไอเบลวันนี้เบลชอบเข้าทางนี้เดินไหลเนียนครับเฮ้ยสวัสดีครับยังไง
is Yas going to be able to win the engagement? He knows he's there, but the exact location, no, specifically where he is, and there's resets even though he has to be careful. There are 2 players now have emerged. The drone comes in and resets.
กลับดีกว่า
Gets out of there just in the nick of time, Ollie. But no, they actually hunt him and chase him. Yas finds an incredibly long angle.
เอาเล่นชั้น1ด้วย
And catches out reset.
เฮ้ยสวยจัด
จริง
Nesk will be there with the trade. Still, it is going to be advantage Talon right now. And you think about the positioning as well. You've got players all the way on that top floor. Very separated, but Maya is going to do something to try and work his way a little bit closer back to side. Takes shots down.
Yeah.
Misa comes in with the trade. Shotgun at close range for Maya will be successful if he's been able to navigate through that gap whilst full white. He's got away. 2 versus 2. Still a minute. There's an eternity here for the attackers, but not got too much to go on. A couple of drones. And there's still players on that top floor. Gets a glimpse. Oh, Nesk is just beautiful, isn't it? Soldier. He only gives away a pixel, but it was
มาลุงมาติดคัดมา
Now Romatic has to rummage for that diffuser.
ไฮไลท์ในแรงแม่งอย่างโหดในกูดูในแข่งสิ
He does plant in the correct position. It's a blind spot.
เฮียแม่งแพนได้ว่ะ
Cannot see. So it forces now the players of Liquid that they have to move in now, and Maya will do so, but he isn't being supported by Nesk.
เรียบร้อยเฮีย
เรียบร้อยหามุมยิงกันได้ไอ้เหี้ย
And gives himself up to Nesk. I mean, to be fair, I think Nesk was opening up the line of sight. Gives the information over to his teammate. As he swings,
ยี่ห้ออะไรวะเนี่ยยี่ห้อซาอุดีเหรอ
and if at any point Romatic tries to move to engage against Maya, the Nesk picks up the easy kill, which I think has happened there.
โอ้ยเฮียช็อตกันเต็มหน้า
There's this last kill for me. 12 seconds last kill.
เฮียโคตรฟุกอะเฮียเนส
Just beautiful. It's like Nesk, he just sees the future a little bit, doesn't he?
You said he was over the hump a few months ago. You said he was on his way down.
Yeah, well, like, he's still... This is the problem, though, isn't it? He does something... He has games like this. Where you look at it and you just go, yeah,
เอาไงดีทีมชิบหายแล้วฟาเบียนหน้าตึงแล้วเอาเหี้ยละแม่กูส่งอะไรมาวะ
My oh my
เขาบอกว่าเล่นคุยอะไรกันมาเนี่ย
ฟาเบียนบอกไอสัตว์สมัยกูแข่งกูแพ้ลิควิดเหมือนมึงนี่แหละ กูแพ้เยี่ยพาลูเหมือนมึงนี่แหละ
Just a little bit for Talon to maybe sneak a foot in and eventually barge it all the way open. I'll be honest, based off the siege we've seen, I'm not too sure if Talon have got it in them right now, especially when you look at the site downstairs. One of the more difficult sites on this map.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay. That's what I haven't seen before. So we obviously have our basement, and Liquid are going to try and hold in towards mid floor. We've seen that before. But then to see even an extension over towards Visa and casting off the double door on Visa, I've never seen that. They are trying to control pretty much the entire mid floor off the map. And the only issue with this is, do you really have the manpower to hold all the different angles and all the different rooms and entrance ways that you have into this? Because that's really difficult to do.
เฮ้ยไอ้ใครทักคุยเนี่ยมาวะ
Yeah, you can often spread yourself a little bit too thinly, can't you?
Like butter and toast. Nobody likes their toast with that, too fine a butter on it. I know I certainly don't.
Strange to see that they're bringing the Glaz without the Maverick. Typically, Glaz Maverick's a nice little play here because you can just make smaller peepholes in the reinforced wall. When you do extend the whole wall open and then go for the smoke, it can be a little bit difficult. But if it's going to come in right away, that's the down and out. But was it a distraction? The plant was going down, but it stopped.
กูดูแข่งนี้เกิดอะไรขึ้น เกิดอะไรขึ้น
He's able to pick
จบแล้วเหรอ
Only now we're
แต่
starting
เคไฟนี่หว่า
start to be made. Still
ยังไม่มีอะไรจะเสียแล้วกูรัดแม่งเลยละกัน
You know there's a glass outside, and guess what you don't do? You don't peek the glass outside. You wait. You force him into a different angle. Romatic making his way down these stairs right now. Yes.
Winnable.
Lagonis, we said, you don't peek the glass outside. You fall down to the bearing. Still, minute 14. One thing that Talon do always have in their favor is they've always got a lot of time to work this second stage out. They might never have an advantage going into it, but they don't leave themselves short on time.
เว้ยไม่สูสีเลยแค่ทีมไม่คิดว่ามันจะสูสีไม่ก็ไม่สูสีจีตั้งแต่จีอะไรเงี้ย
มันต้องรอไฟนอลอ่ะ
โดนยับปะจีโดนเท่าไหร่
เจ็ดเท่าไหร่วะ74มั้ง73
73 มันอยู่7 เนมโดนตบลับยับอะเหี้ย
They lost that monthly so early on that needed to be there to stop the C4s to let that plant go down, but yeah, it's going to be really difficult.
วันนี้ได้กินแค่2แมปนะ
Liquid are being so patient right now, Ollie.
ฝั่งตรงข้ามมันจะได้แค่2แมป
He's going to use the barrel as well just to slow down the movement of the glass, and Amaya swings in, takes down Yas.
เรียบร้อย
And Liquid clean it up in great fashion. Did not drop a beat, Ollie, on the defense.
Well, we kind of expected it from
ปิดเลยเฮียวันนี้แบบอะไรก็ไม่รู้ไอ้สัตว์งง
อยากดูดีอ่ะ
จบไปแล้วเฮีย
ไม่อีกแมนหนึ่งอะเจอเดวิส
วันหน้ามันพี่เพิ่งปิดดูไอ้นี่ดิดูอีกคู่หนึ่งนี้น่าจะมันจบอย่างว่าไอ้เหี้ยแชร์จอน
แป๊บนึงไอ้
ลูมินอสซิตี้กับบลิสไอทีม Wi-Fi ไอเบลกูอยากดูมันจะมาแข่งนานแลนของมันจะเป็นยังไงวะไอ้เหี้ยกูอย่าดูหน้าเป็นไงวะ
มึงเข้าไปดูในสตรีมกู
เนี่ยกูดูแป๊บดีเลย์มั้ยเนี่ยเหี้ย
นิดหน่อย
ไม่เห็นมีเหี้ยอะไรเลย
แป๊บนึง
เอ้ยฟูเลียจะชนะแล้ววะ
You think about what was happening in that round. Purge was playing inside of security, running out that door, and ITB were like, you know what? You go have your fun over there. We're going to push the other side of the map entirely, and it caught them by surprise. But the whole point of the dog wasn't even to get kills on that side. It was to get the players
กูรู้มันจะแข่งแล้วมันไม่แข่ง
so he could get a kill there, but there was nobody
มันยังไม่แข่ง
โอ้ยเฮียจบแล้วเกย์ทุกคนในสตรีมขอไปซ้อมกันนะครับสวัสดีครับบ๊ายบาย
มันแข่งอยู่
เอ้าไอ้เฮียทีมอะไร
ลูมินอสซิตี้
แข่งอยู่ไงก็เมื่อกี้นี้กูเปิดอยู่
นั่นไอ้เนี่ยคอนซูเลตโคตรตึงอุ้ย
We talked about right tools for the job by Bliss whilst they've been defending, and they've continued to bring these very annoying operators that halt Luminosity's plan A. And again, that's one of the big problems with
Luminosity ทีมประเทศอะไรนะ อเมริกา
is not expecting something that is just kind of out of your typical play.
มันเคยเข้ามาแล้วทีนึงนี่แล้วมันก็ออกไปมันกลับเข้ามา
altogether, let alone on such a clunky map like Consulate. So having her in play, that not only provided a lot of info for Bliss to work off of any potential picks, but also it stopped the main plan by LG, which was to get their thermite inside the map through that open breach and to plant the diffuser, forcing a post plant. Because they killed that thermite, that forced everyone by LG that was holding vertical for the post plant to then drop down below and face these really taxing angles that Bliss were holding across the basement floor. So altogether, Bliss with their just initial utility emphasis by one operator just led to this beautiful domino effect that Luminosity could not stop from falling down. And I really like the switch up now from Bliss. Going to a site that is not often played in servers tellers and giving Bliss or giving LG a completely different look in terms of play style. All three defense.
มาทำไปก่อนนะครับสตรีมบ๊ายบายครับสวัสดีครับ